Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be, your Spielmeister, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing game, playing Ulysses Spiele's outstanding dark fantasy RPG, The Dark Eye. I guess it's not really dark fantasy. What would I call it? Low fantasy? I don't think it's that either. Fantasy RPG, The Dark Eye. This is technically the 5th edition of Dark Eye, but is wholly unrelated to the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And with me today are the stars of our campaign. We've been calling it Revelations from Heaven because we have been playing... We started playing one module, but we've kind of gone back in time and started exploring out in the part of the world of Aventuria that we're going to be playing in when we catch up to that module. But let me introduce you to the stars of tonight's session. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight? First up, we've got John.
Hey everyone, I'm John and I'm playing Thalion. He is a guild mage, and he uses magic.
Very nice. Next up is Ingolf.
Hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Corgram, who is a very typical dwarf without the Scottish accent. But then the rest
exactly. Suitably, the Dark Eye dwarves have German accents. So.
Yeah, I've heard it called Teutonic fantasy. So like
Teutonic fantasy. Yeah, that tracks. That, I mean, much more so for the art from earlier editions for sure. Because there's, I don't know the name of the dude, but there's that one guy who did a ton of the covers for either 3rd or 4th edition. I've stumbled across some of that stuff. That shit seems very Teutonic fantasy.
Yeah, they had a Turkish artist who did most of the covers for the 1st edition. Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, so guys, what do you guys recall? Let me bring you over. So we'll leave these two behind, Garen and I can't remember what her name is, but we do have this here, Carissa Salmongan, the Queen Mother's killer, and the one who freed the Alagrim. I believe it was some stories about her that brought our heroes together. Initially, What do you guys recall having happened over the last...
we're hunting down Carissa for her rule freeing Alagrim and murdering Lord Mother Thalesia. There's a renegade dwarf, Drogosh, the son of Dern, helped her get access to do so. He's been sighted near Vegenholm, and I feel like we had meeting or had met with Voltan von Falkenbag.
Oh, Voltan von Falkenhag, you most definitely have met with. There we go. Along with his nephew, Count Filber.
Yes.
Do you recall what, because this is your kind of first outing in the wider world there, Thalion. What do you recall the task that you were charged with?
See, if I'd taken better notes, I'd have that handy.
Well, let me ask you, what is the most recent significant event that occurred in Koschim, the kingdom, one of the kingdoms of the dwarves in the Kosh Mountains? And I have a visual aid to assist with that as well.
Yes, the Firebird comes to mind. Yes.
The release of the Alagrim.
Yes. I think we're going up there to investigate, and it was going to be a rather lengthy journey. So we were given funds and time to head off, and we encountered something along the road.
That is correct. So you guys had... I don't think either of you were here for the session with George and Hobbs's characters.
No.
So you weren't... Yeah, there's also been another seemingly unrelated incident involving some kind of cursed coins. But
I remember we discussed the poltergeist, because that was a big issue at the tavern.
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
Yeah. And then actually, they're technically, a poltergeist is one kind of ghost, but this was a Rachegeist, which is a rage ghost.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I don't think I had the... Did I have an image of it? I don't know. That's another one that's on my list of like, boy, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing an English language translation. The Spirit book. So much fun. Bodiless Horrors, I think it's called, or at least the translation is. Fucking cool. So much great stuff in that one. Anyway, my wish list grows here. Let's see. Let's talk about where you guys are right now. I've loaded a clearer version of one of the maps we were using.
Yes.
So you guys had set out originally from Angbar. I believe you're from Furdok originally, or maybe around Furdok, Thalion?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Yeah. So you traveled... interestingly, you can actually get two ways. You can go overland up through Steinbrücken and then down into Angbar. It's actually faster to kind of cut down and take the lake along Angbar Lake. It saves you a half day. I was snooping on the travel chart for how long it takes you to get there, and they have traveling over land and traveling by river down this. Where you guys are intended on going is Vingenholm here. And
Yes.
It's actually an interesting... This is just an aside. I learned over the last week. So this is called Vingenholm on this map, which is from the Riverland sourcebook. But in previous ones, this is actually... it's not Auersbrücken, it's Augenbrücken. And this is called Vingenholm, that the castle is actually far up in the actual mountains themselves, closer to the border with the with Andergast. But this is apparently where it is now. It actually makes more sense that the castle would be here and the town would be built around it, and then built up there. But we still have a community up there that is as yet unnamed. To give you also an indication of the geographic barriers too, I'm going to double check something because I think that... Let's see here. Oh, it is the Hilllands. Okay. So we've talked quite a bit about the impact that Vingenholm, the county of Vingenholm, has seen since the Allegram. It's been 13 years since the release of the Allegram. And the Vingenholm and the kind of the northern, county, it is mostly what's up here. So once you get beyond Overangbar and get further up the Anga River, that's when you're getting into those territories. And then it actually covers most of the Kosh Mountains as well. So Amforten is also part of it, even though it's much closer to Angbar. It's all this area around here. And largely because it's so... the communities themselves are quite charming and quite... they're quite, idyllic in some cases, but the forests themselves, like this particular forest here, this is, I think, the... What is it? Oh, the Bora. The Bora Forest is in here. And this is traditionally full of some dangerous shit. Has only gotten more so with the third orc storm that came through the North Marches over here, and with the impact of the Allegram. So you guys are, once you get past Overangbar, you are likely to get into some pretty wild territory.
Gotcha.
What do you, and you guys, we were talking about bandits last time. What do you guys recall about last session?
About the encounter with the bandits?
Mm-hmm.
I know I think they're pretending to be injured, or like a wagon that got attacked, and Jeff's character got suspicious well before the rest of us.
Yeah.
We decided to sneak around and try to ambush them, but at the last minute, Thalion snagged a branch, and we didn't quite have them entirely surprised, but we got the drop on them.
Okay.
And then I think at least one person on horseback was able to ride off. or hide in the backwoods.
Yeah, there were some who apparently were waiting to, spring the ambush. You guys managed to scare all of them off before, you cut down the bandits pretty quickly. I just shared with you. This is the bandit illustration from the Aventuria Almanac. So
bandits are very well dressed and very clean here.
They're quite dapper, yeah. Kosh does have nicer, better quality of most things. So I think that's what we're picking up is with you guys on the road, and I think we were. Let me see here. I think we were using this here for our visual of that. Yeah, there we go. Let me get rid of Garen. Oopsies. I tried to do the thing where I move a token with the ruler, so no one else needs to do that tonight. There we are. Do you remember if one of them... I thought that one of them surrendered. I actually didn't go back.
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Did they both surrender, or did one run off and one surrendered?
I think we cut down one.
Yeah, I think one was dead, one surrendered, and another one who was laying farther back, he ran away.
Okay, got it. So then it was... Do you know it was the more injured one that ran away, or was it the more injured one that surrendered?
I'm not
Don't
sure.
remember?
I think the one, I think the one that ran away was actually not injured at all, but...
Okay. So I can tell... Yeah. So the last damage we've got is Jeff's character doing 9 points of damage and then a successful Intimidate from you, Korgrim. This guy who's left here is actually down by 9 points. So that makes me think that this is the dude who surrendered. Yeah, it's the really injured one who went limping off. So then, guys, that's what we're picking up right now. Is you guys are on the road to Stonebridge, basically, or Stone Bridges, I guess, technically, because there are several rivers that it crosses. So, with this guy cowed, having dropped his sword, what do you guys do next? You can see that others have run off. What you guys could give us is a... And the difficulty on here? It is not. Okay. I think give us an easy history check, please. Make it very easy, actually. I think this is...
So, history, okay. Easy. Good.
Nice. Yeah, both you guys. That's great. So, what you both know is, obviously, this is the Imperial Road. So this is the road that runs from Gareth, the capital, all the way out to Angbar. This is a major, as significant and as important of a road as any found anywhere in the Empire or in the Midden Realm. What for there to be bandits preying along here, and this relatively close to Angbar, it is very unusual. This is a extremely unusual occurrence. Telling you that you guys got a quality level 2, quality level 3. Actually, Korgrim, you did better. Holy smokes. You got a better history than what Tillian does. That's interesting. Oh, no, just the better roll, because you got a 20 there.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. So, the... Oh, and you rolled against easy instead of very easy as well. You actually made it harder for yourself.
Huh. I was wondering how, with that bad of a roll, John made so many successes. But yeah.
Well, I got 7 like ranks in it, so or 7 SP. So
Yeah.
I had to make up for it.
Also, your sagacity is an 18, so your sagacity with the 15 with the modifiers.
Yeah. So it was like I think I may have nodded off 1 or twice during this particular lesson.
So Corgrim, that's one thing you would know. And what I was looking up is trying to find the English translation I did of this. Where is it here? Kellamon, Bilber. The Hilllands. So the county of Hilllands is where you are right now. It's Angbar, it's Stonebridges, and it is over Angbar, a little further north. This is not like Vingenholm, where things seem to have gotten quite desperate and whatnot. This is really unusual for there to be bandits preying on them. Obviously, it looks like they were just trying to prey on a smaller group of travelers. So, they're, even with these 3 that you faced, or 2 that you faced, as well as, or 3 you faced, I think you killed 1, and then the others that ran off, like, that's not a big enough group to really significantly challenge or rob somebody, and certainly not enough to carry stuff off. So this is some pretty either bold or foolish banditry on the part of these fellas. So he has surrendered to you. What do you do?
Yeah, maybe we should ask him what they are hoping to achieve, because obviously these roads are watched or guarded or something like that.
Yeah.
They must be pretty desperate to attack us.
Yeah, highway robbery counts as a serious crime. This is the kind of thing that would result in like forced labor, life sentences, or branding, and at times death. This is a serious crime with a substantial violent and disruptive component to it. Highway robbers often are, So, yeah. So if you want, then, do you want to give us a intimidation check again there, Corgrim?
Yeah. Just maybe think.
Okay.
Let's see if I'm intimidating. So difficulty is challenging or anything?
Difficulty. Oh, it'll be challenging, yeah, because it's contested. I should make it easy actually, because you did defeat him.
Oh, so yeah. I should re-roll again, or
so easy would just give you +1 to each of them. Would that?
So that would just give me 1 quality level more, because I made it.
Well, it would give you 1 more skill point, I think, right? Because
no, it would change each D20, doesn't it?
No. It means
so each D20 is one. I can roll 1 higher without spending.
Right, but how high you roll doesn't make a difference. It's how much skill points you have left over after you roll.
Yes.
Right, so it'd be 1 point, because the only one that you were actually spending.
The only one was the 20. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me roll for.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. You could also spend a fate point to get. But let's just see how this guy does first. Oh, I need to open up my almanac. Go. Okay. And his self-control is not great. So he well, sorry, what is it you say you ask him?
Yeah, so how dare you even try to ambush us on these guarded roads? Are you mental? I mean,
it's not. I'm not going to apologize for what we did. And there's something you pick up from the way he's talking. He has a bit of a. He's got a bit of a twang to his accent that makes you think it's actually. This is someone who may be from further north, not necessarily Vangenholm, but like Andergast, perhaps. It's not unusual to find Andergasters in this area, but to find an Andergaster this far south and working as a bandit, normally you'd think they'd be preying in Vengenholm, not here in Hillland. I think it's Hillsland. Is Hillanda? That's plural, isn't it?
I don't know. What is the German one?
I think the German one is Hillanda.
Hügellande, I suppose, or.
Oh, that might be it actually. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is. I've got my map here.
So the problem is that in German,
Hügellande.
So one hill and two hills is the same flexion in German.
Yeah.
So you can't say whether it was one or two without having the article in front of it.
Got it. I think I'll call it Hillsland because that is just easier to say in English than Hillland. So Hillsland is the thing. I've had to do that with one other thing too, that it didn't translate. It didn't sound quite as cool in English. So I'm like, we're gonna tweak this a little bit in Angbar. So it's unusual for someone who's an. Oh, and John, just to give you context for what we're talking about, the region that is as known as the Warring Kingdoms is Andergast and Nostria right here. Okay. They've been at conflict for years and years and years, and they're kind of seen as a little backwards. They're very big into like knights and nobility and things like that, but they're kind of seen as bumpkins, or at least the Andergasters are seen as bumpkins. Andergast is just north of the Midden Realm, which means they can easily make their way down into Kosh, which is right here, or into North Marches, which is right here. And North Marches is the place where the orc storms have recently gone through. There's been 3 in the last 30 years. Okay. So for them to come down into here, remember when we were talking about how the connected to kind of the common folk that the nobility is in Kosh? How they can, it's not unusual for a nobleman's daughter to, apprentice at some kind of, not necessarily at a peasant level or, a serf level of possession, but to learn a trade or something like that. That is absolutely not the case in Andergast. Andergast is very class oriented. If you're a noble, you are a class above. There's a separate set of laws that apply to you and blah, blah, blah. So this guy, it's not unusual for, those who are prone to violence and don't have the opportunities of a good birth, they may find a way of earning a living as bandits, either in the North Marches or in Vengenholm. But for them to be this far south, that is odd.
Interesting.
So if he says that, he says, I don't apologize. We'll do what we need.
And I look at Thalion, so what are we going to do about him?
Well, it was our lives he was seeking. Or were you just planning on robbing us and leaving us for dead?
Looks up and he says, well, it depends how much you resist.
Well, you attacked a wizard.
Corgrim, I think, why don't you guys each give us an empathy check, please.
Yeah.
And you can make it easy.
Yeah. So, I might just talk to Thalion. So, you think he's connected to our mission?
I doubt it.
So then we may maybe just leave him to the authorities on the next.
We'd have to drag him the whole way.
Okay. So you've got nothing. Talion, you get the sense you can't tell really whether he's telling the truth or whether he's lying, but he definitely has a sound of desperation about him. Whether that's because his fellows have been slain or not, it's not clear. He does look to be living quite ragged, which is not unusual for bandits. But, yeah, this is an unusual... This is not something you would expect, nor are these the people you would expect. There is the forest to the north, whose name I don't know. It's not part of the Barevald, but it is probably very much the same. I know that Tralek, the master of Tralek, loves keeping a menagerie, and there are a bunch of like wild beasts and whatnot in here that are kept for game, so they could quite easily find a place to hide in there.
Okay, so there, maybe, okay.
So
yeah, I don't know. Let's bind him and take him with us, and so you and maybe talk to him again. Your choice is either to behave or to die.
I will fight. He looks down at his one fallen comrade and the blood from his other comrade that you drove off. He says, I'm not going to fight. He gives you his name as well. I can justify my Adventurika Namen book. Let's see here. And here we go. Reich, Armada, Griefenfurt. What's not part of the Middenreich, is it? There we go, and a guest. All right, this fellow's name is Ludovic.
Okay.
So, it is still another, better part of a day's travel in order to get to Stonebridges. Also, Steinbrücken. Sorry, John. I was going to put English language titles over the ones that are translatable, but I just ran out of time this week.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll make do how they do in foreign countries. I learn it.
Yeah. Good. Duolingo for everybody. Okay, so here's what you know about Steinbrücken is that, because you passed through there as well, it is a trade town. It has in general, the population in Kosh is quite high for hill dwarves. In Angbar itself, it's 1 in every 4 people is a hill dwarf. Steinbrücken has even a little higher than that. It's about a third of the population are hill dwarves, and it is known for the trade, going north and south, and east and west. So anything that's coming across from the Midden Realm, from Gareth or the center of the Midden Realm, heading out to the west will be passing through there. Anything coming from north, heading south, or south heading north, likewise. So it's a pretty active trade town. So you should be able to find someone to turn this fella over to.
Yeah.
Anything you guys do over the course of the rest of your day's travel? Just to interrogate this fellow at all, or just kind of
leave that up to our martial-oriented companion here. I think I'll try and keep an eye out for any kind of useful vegetation or things along the way.
Okay.
If that's a possibility.
What skill you think to use in there, John?
Plant lore, maybe?
Okay, let me take a look here.
Yeah.
I think in the companion there's actually...
Or, I don't know if alchemy would help, but,
Yeah.
I think alchemy is more putting stuff together, I believe.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, but... I think I'm in the wrong section here. There we go. See if we can make a little extra coin here. Self-control. How about yourself, Corgrim? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I have to keep watch about our new friend here, Ludovic. Normally, I'm not so talkative, but maybe I talk to him a little bit,
Okay.
just to try to not to interrogate him so much, because I'm not so much interested in actually his life, but maybe he can tell me something about what was going on in the lands around here in the last year or something. I don't know. I wasn't here because I fought in the east, if I remember correctly.
You
So,
did, yeah.
yeah.
In the conflict with the Heptarchs, that was occupying much of your time. So Talion, because you're not slowing your speed here, the quality level is going to be higher of what you'll need with it. But why don't you give us a plant lore check with +1, please.
Modifier, just one?
Just one, yeah. It's for how you're not really off the road and kind of checking through the...
Yeah, I failed that quite a lot.
Yeah. It's just there's nothing is, clear from the road, which is not unusual. You would need probably 3 quality levels of success in order to be able to just grab shit, useful stuff off of the road as you're going. So if you ask Ludovic what is, when you guys take a break in midday, let's say, he's, you guys have your water skins that you're each able to kind of drink from. He doesn't have one on him.
So let's. Yeah, I will share. I mean, there's no use in cruelty if I have captives. So
okay.
That if we take prisoners, then we need to treat them a little bit. I don't know, with dignity. Otherwise, it makes no sense, and we should have killed them on the spot.
Okay. So yeah, he takes it, and he says, "Thank you." And he looks at the two of you. You can see that you're a guild mage, obviously, Talion, because your staff and your robe would give you away. And he says, well, he looks at you, Corgrim, gestures the markings on maybe your armor or your things. Are you a costumer?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are you going back home?
Yeah, going back home. Yeah, wasn't there in quite some time. I'm not sure whether I was in the meantime. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Time-wise, we can kind of think of as whatever adventure that you had with Darren's character. That was your first time going home. We'll assume that concluded. You went back to Costume and you were sent back to Angbar.
I was, yes.
Yeah, so you're kind of in service to the king now.
Yes. I remember that I talked to. Yes, so I'm from there. I was fighting in the east, but now I'm back.
Have you been back home yet?
Yes, I've seen what has been done there.
And you would also know that, Corgrim, because you've been traveling back and forth, another problem is that they're it really is traveling between Costume and the lowlands. Is the Baravold in particular is extremely dangerous. It has always been a little, not a place you'd want to go an overnight necessarily. I'm just going to put the thing on here. I cannot do an umlaut here, I don't think. So that is the Baravold there.
So it's Beerwald.
Oh yeah, Beerwald. Right.
Yeah.
Right, like Euler Bear.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So the Beerwald is there, or the Bear Forest. That place has always been quite dangerous. It's in fact there's a notorious ogre who apparently lives in there too. And like the worst of his kind, he is a cannibal. What you've also learned, Corgrim, is that because there was, even before the release of the Allegrim, the succession, there was an issue with succession of the lords or the barons of counts, I guess, not barons, the counts of Vengenholm. There was a imperial crisis way off in Gareth that related to two different pretenders to it. One of the lords was somehow caught up in that, and that became the excuse for the current family to overthrow them and cast the other ones out, which obviously has a pretty destabilizing influence on all the vassal baronies that are around there, because you're asking each of them to cast their lot in with one, either the old lord or the new lord. Then the Allegrim came. And one of the things we talked before about Carissa von Salmingen, that sorceress and former, where is she here? Carissa. Yeah, there she is. Oh, what a fiend. So, Carissa was the sorceress who released them, but we talked before as well about the robber knight, whose name, Ulfing von Jürgenquell. The robber knight, Ulfing von Jürgenquell, he is the son of the lord that was cast out of Vengenholm. And it's his vassal, Drogosh, who was the dwarf, the dark dwarf, who threw himself in. Oh no, Drogosh. Drogosh, son of Durm. And the problems that are happening in here, the release of the Allegrim, is in part related to that changeover from there. So you had heard that there is the Drogosh, son of Durm, the servant to the former masters of Vengenholm. He seems to be back in here as well. What this guy asks you is, so do you know then what is building at Barensteig? And you would know this well enough. Talion, how'd you do in your history roll before? You succeeded, but with like one...
2 quality levels.
2, okay. So Barensteig, you would know, is a minor duchy that is located around here.
Okay.
So there is a second river right here, which I think is the Bera River, which meets up with the Anga and then flows down where it meets up with the Bretta River to then flow down all the way down as the Anga. This little tributary river that comes down near where Vengenholm is, north of there is a small barony called Barensteig. And Barensteig was a keep that was caught up in that conflict between the two successors, but it was destroyed like 25 years ago. And what he asks you, what Ludovic asks you, is do you know, then have you met the new master of Barensteig? And the way that he says that, it doesn't sound like he likes the new master of Barensteig very much.
No, but do we know who the new master is? No.
No. As far as you know, the Barensteig was destroyed in the conflict between... The one who took over is a guy named Yelek. Where is he here?
Stock. Okay, yeah.
Yelek of Vengenholm. Yelek is the new count of Vengenholm. And not only is he a... let me double check my notes here. I've got his surname as well. Oh no, it's just Yellock von Vengenholm. Yellock is the brother of the guy who maneuvered in to take over Vengenholm, and in the time after the Allegrim, Yellock of Vengenholm is the guy who organized all the barons and the other groups. He's tried to call back an ancient kind of oath between the different masters of the north to try and organize against the bandits and all the other troublemakers, the orcs, the goblins that have come in, to try and keep things there. You've been through Vengenholm, you've seen what Vengenholm has become, and it's nowhere near as impressive as what it once was, but Vengenholm is trying to build up. Barensteig is a place where his brother, the previous... No, Yellock I think is the one who did it. Yellock defeated people allied with Jürgenfell, with the Jürgenfells, and smashed them there. They were barons that were allied with them. They were defeated. It was destroyed 2 decades ago.
I don't know what happened to this. I think it was destroyed. Is there a new master?
Your kingdom, your king, he may be paying tribute and taxes to not just Vengenholm, but to the master of Barensteig soon.
My king? I ask with this question in voice. You think my king will answer to someone from some village?
You don't know what they are planning up there. They've got orcs. They've got dark dwarves. And they've got a bunch of sellswords. And they're all rallying around Ulfrid the Bloody. And I think with 3 levels of success, you'll remember that.
Yeah, okay.
Ulfrid the Bloody, also known as Ulfrid the Bloody Bastard, also known as Ulfrid the Bastard.
Yeah.
He is, or has been, a hatchet man to the robber knight, Ulfing. So yet another person associated with a group of rogues that released the Allegrim and that fought against the current masters of Vengenholm. He, even more so than the others, is just a violent thug. Or at least that's so the story goes. A murderer, a warrior without honor whatsoever. But if he's allying, he apparently fought at the Battle of Barensteig when it was collapsed, so it would make sense if he is allied or is using that as a base of operations to rebuild.
If, yeah, I mean, so you are telling me you allied with the traitor, with Dragos.
He spits. You think I'm going to fight alongside orcs?
I was more thinking about the robber knight, but yes.
If you mean von Jürgenquell, he's dead.
Yeah.
He died at the gates of Angbar.
Yes, I know. But so I was asking whether you fought with him.
No.
No. Okay.
I came down.
It was 20 years or so.
Yeah, this guy would have been a kid in all likelihood.
Yeah, so but I mean that's something that maybe happens to dwarves because they get so much older.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You forget that things. No, so what he says is no. I'm not allying myself. He's bringing in. It's one thing having to be along dwarves, but orcs? I won't live with those animals.
So maybe the people in Steinbrücken will be We'll take that into account if you have useful information.
Maybe.
You could.
Yeah. So, but how do you know that? I mean, how do you know that the new master is so powerful and has orcs there?
Because you think we're down here because we want to be?
So you were driven off.
The bloody bastard has made it. You either fight with him or you fall to him.
So I then think you chose well. It may not seem this way, but it was.
Not if I'm going to see the end of a rope in Steinbrücken.
Let's see what we can do about that.
What's your name, dwarf?
Thorgrim.
I'm Ludovic. And
so yeah, we will. I will give my word that I will. If what you're saying is true, then it will be a benefit in the court. I'm pretty sure.
you think anyone in Hillsland cares what's happening in Vengenholm?
I don't think that anyone or everyone will care, but I think that if they ally themselves with the orcs, they will care. I'm pretty sure about this. People are not forgetting what happened.
You've been through there now. Does it look like any of these rich folk down here remember what happened when the Firebird came?
I think my king remembers every day he does not see the light of day.
He hits you, and that kind of hits him, and he... I know that the bloody bastard played some role in that too.
So it's
Anyone
even
who could do that. I'm just trying to rob an honest day. He's trying to start a war.
and he might as well. I think.
So, I'll put in here.
Yeah.
Smaller
The
font.
tendencies for mankind to avoid peace is never surprising.
Well, do you think anyone in Angbar? Do you think the Count of Hillsland will care who rules Vengenholm?
As long as they don't cause him trouble, probably not.
What the Robber Knight couldn't get back, the bloody bastard plans to seize. And he gestures to you. And one of his kind is plotting it too. He's working with him.
The wizard.
No, he's gesturing to Korgrim, one of the dwarves.
Oh, yeah. That'll kind of like Dragosh.
Yeah. That's what they called him.
Look over at Corbin, like, seems like Ludwig is going to be a very useful source of information.
Yeah.
How well do you know the area ahead of us there, Ludwig?
Okay, there is Barensteeg. It's around there. Now, where the center of the word is, that's roughly where the ruin should be. So, he finishes his things, and he's like, well, if the rope waits for me, we might as well not leave him waiting.
I'm not sure that the rope will wait for you. I'm pretty sure that we have to investigate what happens there now.
Yeah, we're actually looking for Dragash, and if you know where he is, perhaps you can, find a way to pay back your debt versus going to the rope instead.
Why don't you each give us a empathy check once again, too. Challenging, please.
Challenging.
Yeah. So he hops up and tries to claim that, like, he knows precisely where this guy is. He could recognize him. You got to keep him alive. He'll do it. You're certain he's absolutely fucking lying. And
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, rage is a powerful motive, so if
you've
he has
only
some...
failed. You've only failed by 2, though. You could spend a fate if you'd like to re-roll that 12.
Yeah, I could, but then again, no. I mean, it's not just. I was just. So maybe you're telling the truth, maybe not, but it's not. It's not for us to decide. I have some doubts about the humans allying with the orcs, because the orcs are too unstable of a force to be useful allies, have been in the past. So
there's I think you would know. Is that Korgrim imposing kind of his thoughts on it, or? Because you do know that there are, I'm trying to find where's my thing here? Oh, I can't remember the name of it's not the free cities. Oh, I got my map here. Here, take a look at this. Go. Because there is a bunch of things right near the Orklands in the north there. A bunch of free cities. Like a bunch of like mining town places.
Mm-hmm.
In the Svelte Valley, where apparently like there's humans who live alongside orcs.
Yeah. So they tell us, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you believe it when you see it, right? But that's...
Yeah. I mean, I would say that the orcs we see here are those who come with the invading forces, and so...
Absolutely. And these are leftover raiders and whatnot, so yeah, that absolutely tracks. I'm going to put some names... I didn't put the stuff in there. So there's... Ulfing von Jürgenfell is the Robert Knight, if you want to see that. And then it is... Wilfried the Bloody Bastard. That's the murderer in service to him. So, then it is later in the day when you guys come across Steinbrücken, and let's see if I've got an illustration for you here. I actually don't know if I do, but it is a town of around about 2,000 people. So it is a good-sized place. It has a wall around it as well, stone wall, which is unusual for perhaps. Oh, let's see here. Maybe I'll just throw this one down next to here. So I think this is. Not, you're in the foothills too, but there you go, guys. Give you an idea of what terrain you're crossing as you get closer to Steinbrücken. And what you find as you're getting closer to the stone gates leading in there, they are in the dwarvish style. Lots of angles and whatnot. Heavy... Oh, hold on, Stellian. I'm going to put this on the map layer. Boom, so it's not overlapping with you.
Yeah, I've been delegated to the background.
As you guys are approaching the gate, what you note is that there is a dwarf there. It is later in the day, so a lot of the traffic that would have been, you guys were delayed with the fight, and then delayed with the interrogation, delayed with tying the guy up. Later in the day, being as it is, you can see that the guard who's standing at the gate appears to be he's a dwarf, for one, and he's leaning in a chair with a halberd kind of propped up against the wall above him, and he appears to be napping.
Come on, that is so much stereotypical. the sleeping dwarf on guard. Come on, that is.
So he does appear to be kind of, asleep. It sounds like there's other guards inside, so he's not the only one on watch here. But this is not a good look for the dwarf. So, Corgrim, you would maybe have spied this around the same time as Talion does. What do you do, if anything?
I think I just curse. By Angrosh Spirit, come on, wake up.
He gets up and he kind of looks at you guys. He fumbles with the halberd for a moment, and then, who are you? What is your business in Steinbroken?
Yeah, I'm Corgrim. This is Talion. We are traveling through, but we were ambushed by this and his fellow robbers. So we want to take him to,
what?
I don't know.
He's a highwayman.
Yes.
Gives him a look. We've got a length of rope for you, boy. And he kind of shoots you a look. Ludovic shoots you a look of like, fucking told you.
Yeah. That's
Paladin
Sorry.
clears his throat and says, I don't think the length of rope is necessary at this point.
Oh.
We may have use for him yet, but
Why is that?
No.
Target practice?
No. Nothing that grotesque.
Yeah.
Oh?
So who would be responsible for taking care? I don't know if there is...
Yeah, there's probably a sheriff in town who would be, it's probably a sheriff who would be responsible for sort of the, militia and the watch and whatever in here.
Yeah. So I think we have to see the sheriff first. So we are not vandals.
Yeah, and the Thalion has like a little, hesitancy giving somebody over just at the word and they go hang him. He's like, it's a bit rushing to judgment.
Yeah, I mean, he would, they would take a statement from you. They would give him he would be entitled to a trial, but it's going to be a pretty fucking short one.
Yeah.
Because he's a bandit as well, too, there are two different levels of law that would apply here, and it depends on the status of the person, and it depends on who needs to pass judgment. Because this guy is a robber, a highwayman, it is likely that members of the town council can pass judgment on him in their court, and then he could be hung. But yeah, you're not wrong. Like, they won't just fucking hang him without question. This is not... they are subject to laws, but they are very likely to make an example of him because it's unusual for bandits to be down this far south, and in particular on the Imperial Road too.
Yeah, that's and so it is. I think it is important that we get to know more about why there are bandits. If his story checks out, then there's trouble ahead in the north.
Yeah, and this town should definitely be warned as well, because if they come south... One part of my brain is like, this is, not typical tabletop rule. No, we want to make sure everybody's taken care of.
It is something about
country to save.
It's consistent with the Aventuria setting, I think, because like it's just it is a much more real.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go for what you're saying.
Yeah, I would say it's just trying to treat this more like a living world where you would to actually live in, and at some point have to re-enter that village or have to talk to someone who knows the guy you were just maybe killing. So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a place where like there is a society you could join at some point. You know, characters could retire and become part of the world, and to do that you would have to have a place that's actually, you know, a functioning society. So what this guy says, his name, the guard's name, is Brimosh.
Nice.
So Brimosh says, well, we can bring him Marshal Korax, who deal with him.
Good.
And you can see there's a little glint in his eye. And he calls out Gubara. And a dwarvish woman comes out dressed in the same, you know, kind of armor and the tabard of Steinbrücke or the crest of the town of Steinbrücken on there. She comes out and looks at the kind of lot of you, looks at you, and Corgrim kind of like, you know, not enviously, but is sort of impressed by your armor. Because, you know, your armor, your axe, you're not just, you know, keeping watch at a door here. And Brimosh says, go and collect Korax. He's going to want to talk to these two. And take their statements. And she looks back and forth, and I think, oh gosh, what is the... I forget this each time. I think because we play so much Warhammer Fantasy. The name of the dwarvish tongue.
Oh, damn it, yeah. I should know, but I
That is... Here, let's see.
There's 3 languages Thalion speaks: Gorethi, Bosporano, and Isdira.
Okay, so Gorethi is the kind of like common tongue for Minrealmers. Bosporan is kind of like, you can think of it like the way Latin is. It's like an archaic type of language that you don't really use anymore, but scholars make use of Bosporan. And what was the other one?
Isdira, Isdira.
Isdira, okay.
Yeah. I've also got like a script that I know. It's Kuslinker.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kuslinker is the common alphabet that is used by each of, by I think Bosporan and by Gorethi.
Nice.
And I'm just gonna take a look here at languages.
So where are the languages on the character sheet?
Go to skills, and it's at the very bottom.
Ah, okay.
But I don't think Kev filled them in. I had to fill mine in.
No.
They were on my character PDF though, so I just plugged them in. That'll help to have everything in one spot.
Yeah. I see.
Oh, list of available languages 222, the CRB. Here we go.
I love that book. It's such a good book.
It's so great. So Isdira is Elven sign is Elven.
Nice.
Okay, and the Dwarvish is Rogalon. Damn it, I should remember that.
Yes.
Rogalon. All right, so you speak. He says Rogalon. Corgrim, obviously, you speak Rogalon. I think.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah, you're in the core book. Your archetype was, I think, one of the first ones. You're on page 64. You speak Rogalon, Gorethi, and Olork.
Sounds like orc.
I wonder, 222 is where the...
Yeah. Old Orc is common Orcish.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's also, this language has no language above level 2. So there are no orc scholars.
No. Yeah, their shaman are much more instinctive, I think, than scholarly focused. Then with so what do you hear is that in Rogalan, one of the orcs, one of the dwarves says to the other one, the Angrashim, says to the other one in this, and I mean they probably would think that you would understand this too, and they say we're splitting the fee too.
Yeah, I think we maybe I should just be more confronted at this point. So I would ask in Dwarvish, is there also a fee for sleeping on duty?
Brimosh looks back at you and kind of his eyes go, and you can see that Gabara is kind of like laughing at that, because it seems like this is not the first time Brimosh may have done that thing. And she says, I'm sorry, in Rogalan again, I'm sorry, friend. Karax, he is paying a premium for information on bandits. He has a new initiative coming in. The town is paying bounties, or Steinbrücken has a new policy coming in. Mm-hmm. Taxes for things coming in are going up at the start of the month, and we are using that to pay bounties and expand our patrols. Information such as this, it will offer a reward. And Brimosh kind of gives her, you can tell that like he's really pissed at her that like this could have been our money. And what Gubara says is, we'll be sure that you get your share, again in Rogalan.
Yeah. Agreed.
She turns and says in Garethi, so in common, be back. And she kind of goes at a jog. He looks over at you, and I can't remember, Korgrim is like, he's not a hill dwarf, is he? He's
an Ore Dwarf.
Ore Dwarf, right. So he kind of looks over at you. I think as you're waiting, Brimosh looks over at you. And in Rogalan again, he says, are you from Koshchim?
Yes.
And he kind of gives you that look that most dwarves will give you, knowing that you're from there, you know. So that's kind of the respectful silence is probably what you get most often from the hill dwarves in here. And he says, are you heading back?
Not at the moment exactly. We're just moving through, but on the long run, I will be going back there. Yes.
If you're staying in town, it is the Iron Cask. The best.
I see.
A good hill dwarf family runs it. They will see you fed and bed well.
Oh, thank you. That is good information.
It's not long before Garaba comes back, and she's accompanied by another dwarf. I'm just going to reuse one of the handouts I'd used before, or one of the illustrations I used before. I need to load more from that. Whatever the hero book is called, that one that has all the different careers in it. Ingolf?
I don't know the English. I think it's Aventurische Helden.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. Fuck, it has so much great art in it. Let's see. John,
That is extra challenging if you have everything twice now. So you have everything in German and English.
I will happily have it in English and German. I don't have a physical version of that one because like my German lessons are going along, but they're not going along that well to get a 300-page book. So
Yeah, I just. I mean, I have hope for my Spanish, so I bought the Arkham Horror RPG in Spanish. So.
Oh, nice! That's awesome. All right, there we go. I'm gonna double down then. Once I start reading I think it's the Der Klingen der Nacht that I want to. I really would love to run that one at some point, and maybe that'll be my aspirational goal. So this is and John, this from that book of heroes. It's like a 300-page fucking book with just nothing but like new careers and stuff in it. It's so cool. One of the ones in there is this fella here who is a Angrashim. This is a priest of Angrosh, not Ingerim, the human word for the god. This is what a dwarven priest would look like. This guy who's coming towards you is not dressed like it in the priest garb, but it's just the illustration is the Ingerim priest, and it's the only one I got a broker here. No, that's the only one I've got so far. Between now and next session, I'll load more. Anyway, so this fella is coming towards you. He does seem well dressed, and he does seem to be the way that he is kind of walking ahead of the guard woman. He has armor on, so he definitely is part of some kind of thing, but it looks more fancy and ceremonial than getting into an actual fight. So here is his name, Corax Ironbolt. There you go. So he walks up to the two. Hello, travelers. Welcome to Steinbrücken.
Mm-hmm.
And he casts a hard look at the guy you have in there, and he says, put that one in manacles. I hear you had some trouble on the road.
Yes. Shortly after leaving Angbar, came across this one and a lot of his friends pretending to be a horse carriage in need, and we were able to work our way around them instead of getting ambushed. Several of them rode off when they saw that we could defend ourselves.
Highwaymen.
Mm-hmm. Ludwig here surrendered, which was good for him. He didn't spill any blood, but otherwise...
Did he try to?
I was mostly in the back while my two compatriots defended them. I don't believe he had an opportunity.
I believe he did.
Oh.
Yeah, so whether you did or not. So he looks at Ludwig and he says, you know how we treat robbers around here. And Ludwig kind of barks. Kind of shrinks away from him a bit. And he says, so you two can attest to this then?
Yes, we can. But he told us a story about the bloody bastard gathering new robbers in the north. So.
In where? North of here?
Yes.
Between here and Overangbar?
North of Oberangmar, I suppose.
Oh,
yes, and we're not ones to trust the words of a bandit or highwayman easily, but he spoke a name that we were already set to investigate. Or recognize the name, at least.
Who are you?
I'm Thalion.
And I'm Corgrim. Do we have some kind of document saying that we are on behalf of the...
we were sent on a mission by Voltan von Falkenberg.
So Voltan, you're actually technically on... Voltan is definitely the one who did more talking, but he is...
he has no official status, I suppose.
He does have a status, I think, but...
Yeah, but so the von Falkenhagen name is. They were also allied with the other one with the kind of challenger to.
Yeah, he was also, for some reason, Falkenhag was on the wrong side of that imperial disagreement, but he somehow managed to slip by.
Yeah, so
It was the Count, wasn't it? Gave it to us.
The Count is the one who, which is his
Count Wilbur.
Count Wilbur. Yeah, that's right.
Count Wilbur, yeah.
So you would have some kind of thing, and when he sees that, and he sees that because Steinbrücken is a town, but it's a town ruled by a council that answers to him, so or at least pays taxes to him. Says, I did not realize your service to the Count. Well, then you're if you allow me to take your names down, we'll take this rogue off your hands and see that he's dealt with. You say, and he kind of pulls you in, the two of you forward. He says, forgive me. And sorry, John, I wanted to look up I don't remember what it is, but there's an actual, title that they'll address mages by. Because you are obviously a...
I'm a mage, a guildless mage.
Yeah, guild mage.
Magister,
So
maybe.
they always... Here we go. That's churches... Magister.
Yeah. So they use the Latin.
Learned Sir.
Yeah.
Learned Sir, got it.
Or Master, actually. Learned Sir or Lady or Master. So I think what he would say is... Master Thalion and Corgrim, what did he tell you was happening in Vengenholm?
No, south of Wangenholm. So he says that the bloody bastard has gathered the rest of the forces of von Jürgenholm's Jürgenquell's troops and is trying to start another I don't know, robbery from what was it, Bernsteig or something like that.
What? He's telling you the bastard of Bernsteig is back.
Yes, Ulfried, the bloody bastard.
Yes. And typically we give this no credence, but you know of Carissa, yes?
He looks at you.
I think everyone has heard the name. It's like you used to scare children here.
Drogosh?
Drogosh.
The renegade dwarf who gave Carissa the means.
And he looks...
It is he we seek. And he has been seen, according to this bandit, in that direction.
Yeah.
So you believe he's telling the truth, then?
We are not sure whether he's telling the truth, but it's not as straight as a lie as it might be, actually.
I believe he may have seen who we're looking for, but he is much too eager to claim more knowledge than he has. But as for Drogosh, I'm leaning towards yes.
In Europe is that if you find Drogosh, you'll find Carissa.
Or at least a way to find her.
I'm not sure whether we are actually qualified to go after Carissa herself.
I'd reach over and put a hand on his shoulder, like, my master has all the faith in us to do this. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know.
Well,
if I remember correctly, she was associated with the Nameless One and so on. So I think that
she's a Borberatite.
Oh yeah,
she's a discipline of Razazor.
Yeah. Thalian's still I wouldn't say exactly wet behind the ears, but yeah, he.
And again, this is that's Razazor, one of the Heptarchs, an undead dragon who was in service to Borberad, the demon master, and then kind of went into business for himself when Borberad was defeated.
Yeah.
She is the successor to him.
Yeah, the Thalian's more of like most of this stuff is through books and knowledge and stuff, not direct real world. So he might be of the delusion that we are qualified, and he was going into playing that.
That tracks absolutely.
Yeah.
And he idolizes his master, and his master's, said, "You're ready to go out in the world. Essentially, go do this."
So Kurak says, "Well, if you act in the Count Wilbur's name, I'll take your word. What would you wish done with this one then? If he's a highwayman, he can't go unpunished."
I agree. I am unfamiliar with how you deal with highwaymen, well, aside from the noose regularly, but if his story is true, he's been forced into a circumstance like this because of what's going on to the north. If there's a way for him to pay for his crime rather than just... I'd leave that up to you.
If he's not... The Count's weight will carry a great deal of weight with the city council. If he wishes leniency, an exception could be made, and I think a branding and labor would be sufficient.
Yeah. I'm not sure the Count is vested interest in these highwaymen, but he might be able to lead you to the other highwaymen.
So if he helps you finding his fleet comrades,
you're saying they're in Berensteig?
No. I said that with him there were others. At least two fled.
Oh.
We couldn't get them all. So I think if he, I don't know, if you send out a small patrol and get rid of the rest of them, I think that would be helping the city, wouldn't it?
Or press them into service that the city needs to make up for their crimes, but that is your prerogative and not mine.
Yes.
As I'm sure you're aware, these are troubled times in the north, and while we've not seen the troubles that Vangenholm has, it's instability there spills over down here. We've a councillor who wishes to implement a new policy, and if this raider wishes to save his neck, he could tell us where these others are. It would serve our councillor quite well, and would put me in good standing with them.
Yes. So, I guess it's just his own decision whether he will live or die, I suppose.
Well, Gubara tells me that you've been informed that our council has put a bounty on highwaymen.
Yes. We heard of that when we got here, but not before, yes.
I'm over here scratching my head because it's all spoken in Dwarvish.
No, he's speaking in Garrethi.
Oh, well, I know when those two were discussing.
Yeah, you're kind of like, wait, what?
I'm like,
yeah. I just nod and not even acknowledge that Dalian might not even have known.
Well, what? Just trying to figure out what would be a good bounty here. Let's see. There was a page that had like what you would earn for doing work in a certain length of time. Oh, here we go. Page 364. Yeah, so I think the bounty is gonna come out to let's say 100 silver dollars.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
For this. So Karak says, if you can help us complete this paperwork, we'll pay you your share of the bounty, which will be 100 silver dollars for you guys, and then you can split it 50 silver dollars each. And then we'll have a word with your friend here and see what he can share. Well, you've done. Allow me to thank you on behalf of the town council of Steinbrücken.
You're welcome.
What is your business here, anyway, if I might ask? I do not wish to horn in on the count's. Is this about the League?
Maybe.
Is there a check I can make to learn anything about this league?
It was what I think you may know about this already. You just may have forgotten. This is the where is it?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's in the. It was mentioned in the Aventurian Herald here.
Gotcha.
I think it's the Thalessian, not the League, the Thalessian Alliance. Forgive me. He would have said
right.
Alliance. Is this about the Alliance then? The Thalessian Alliance is what was sworn between the various, the Prince of Kosh, his and his immediate followers, to avenge the death of the Prince Mother.
Okay.
Voltan von Falkenhag is suspected to be a member of the Alliance, as is Count Wilbur.
Okay. Thalion will say, I can't confirm or deny that. If the Count is part of this alliance, it wouldn't be told to one such as us. But anything that deals with finding Carissia interests us.
If you can find that. And he says something very unpleasant in Rogalon. Drogosh. Then he's had a long overdue appointment with justice.
Yes. I don't think there will be a trial if I meet him.
He looks at you and... give me 1 second here, because there is a great little turn of phrase in Rogalon that is in... where is it here?
I'm going to assume he says that in Rogalon.
Yeah.
I think because you've traveled with Korgrim for a little bit now, you may have heard him say something similar, perhaps in that fight. The saying is... Hold on here. Dorakash. And that is the Rogalon word for enemy. Dorakash Angroshim. An enemy dwarf. And I think, again, Karax is a hill dwarf. And he likely is kind of, in part, saying that to sympathize with your circumstances, Korgrim, as a or dwarf of costume. So, he then asks, "Oh, have you a place to stay then? Or do you
We were going to stay in the Iron Cask.
You've heard then. Excellent choice. Please tell them that Kurak's Ironbolt sent you.
We will, Master Ironbolt.
And to you. Is there anything else we could do to assist? We'll see to your friend here. He has you he completes the paperwork that's necessary for, convicting this fella.
I think Dalian will just make a brief stop over by Ludwig and, mention, he'll just say, I did everything I could for you. It's up to you now.
What?
If your story checks out, I'm sorry.
I recommend cooperating.
What's to come of me?
Well, if you play your cards right, you might just end up with a brand.
All right. Clearly something he's contemplated as a potential outcome for him at some point in life. He's not going to thank you for it because,
I don't expect him to.
But
he brand me for you.
Yeah. But otherwise, no, he is left with the two dwarven guards. And Karax. Karax will accompany you to the Iron Cask, unless you object to that.
Okay. No, so we get 50 thallions for that?
Say again?
50 thallion or silver thalers for the...
Yeah, 50 silver thalers that you've got. And that is...
5 ducats.
Thank you. I was going to say, I know I wrote down the... No. 5 ducats. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Because silver thalers is the coinage of the realm. The Haller, the Kreutzer, and the ducat.
Yeah, so it's kind of metric.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is, to be honest, a little easier to manage than the coinage in Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy has the...
Yeah, but that's more... Oh, sorry.
It's more accurate for the English, yeah.
Yes.
I worked as a bartender briefly when I was in England the first time. And the first time I had to figure it out, and someone explained to me, I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. What? There's 12 of this, and then there's... Yeah, crazy. All right, so then anything you guys wish to do, or wish to ask of Karax?
Mostly just get a general idea of what's going on in the area.
Yeah, and what lies ahead, maybe? Because
we came here and all of a sudden bandits? What's going on?
There's instability. Let me put him back on there. Can I do that? There he is. Okay, reappears. He says, there's trouble coming from north. I know that Count Yelek is trying to bring stability, but it is the chaos from the north bleeds down here. Even the Baron of Oberanger, he's been changed as well. I don't know what, in his wisdom, Count Wilbur made that decision on, but it has led to some changes there. And for us, trade is what's most important for Steinbrücken. But the roads need to be stable and secure. We've heard that there's even we've got no proof of it, that it speaks to the watch we keep on the roads. But I hear there's a smuggling run going through Tralek now as well.
And what do they smuggle?
Whatever we wouldn't want down to the south. I hear it makes its way down through there to Amforten, and because Count Yelek tries to keep things stable, but his attention's in the north. Antforton does not get the supply, so those can come from further north, down here, or through the Reichwald, which is, or Reichenwald, which is right. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. He's going to immediately fight you guys.
Forest or something, yeah.
I think it's the. I thought it was Reichenwald, which is.
I think it's Reichswald, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's CH.
Reichswald. Okay.
Yeah, this is so that over here. This is part of North Marches, so it's a different principality. It is a very basic place, but it likewise has been like it's charcoal burners and small villages and things like that in there. Like, it's not a very built up area. It's an incredibly thick and dense forest. There's been like leftovers from the orc storm that have made their way and made themselves at home in here too. So you got a bunch of bad folks from all the way into the orc lands down here, smuggling through. When they cannot make their way down the road between Oberanger and Steinbrücken, they'll head down Tralach. And because the Count Yellick is focused so much on trying to regain stability up here, he's not keeping an eye on Antforton, which means the Griffin Pass over into... what is the other one called?
Yeah. At the moment, I don't know anything anymore. I know my name. That's
It is quite early your time, so sorry. Should be quizzing you on.
Yeah. So, so in Germany we have this thing that you, if you learn something at school, you have to. If you really learned it, you should be able to say it in the middle of the night when you're suddenly woken up and just someone comes to ask you. And I can say that is pretty hard.
Yeah. That is understandable. Because I'm saying North Marches, and I'm realizing I think actually the North Marches is what is to the west there.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah, but yeah.
And it's I think.
I mean, you pointed at the area of the map, so I mean.
North Marches. Okay, so I'm saying North Marches. This North Marches is over here, which is a much more unstable place, but it's on the way towards oh man, what's going on here? Am I having weird errors with Roll20 this week, where suddenly like the whole screen will go gray? Yeah,
and a few of those happen too.
Griffinsford. That is what I'm thinking of. Griffinsford is right over here. That is the place that was devastated by the orc storm. Okay. So yeah, he complains about that. Like it is a. It's not a problem for them because it's going around them, but instability. We have enough on our plate dealing with the trouble in the north in Vengenholm. We don't need to also see it spreading down to the south.
Yep.
So. That's what he says is going on. Oberangbar has seen a change of the Baron, which is causing some instability in there. Here, they've got one town councillor who is really keen on upping taxes and using that to basically facilitate more patrols, more things. I will tell you, I rolled randomly what was going on in the town too. I've got a great
no coincidence.
Not a ham-fisted way to try and bring, local current events in here. I got something called spectacular settlements where you can generate like what's going on because they don't have a lot of information in the canonical sources about Steinbrücken or Oberangbar. I decided to generate some of that stuff, and that was what came up in here. Is that there are things, but it tracks for what's going on in the region right now, why somebody would want to make a name for themselves, trying to raise some extra money to make things safer along this route, and having found this highwayman west of Steinbrücken, like that's going to help them quite a bit with that project. So he's quite pleased. Kurax is quite pleased. He's going to get some kickbacks from the councilman for that. It's going to help them. And if the councilman does raise the taxes for that, it's going to help outfit his people. So,
Yeah. But on the other hand, if there's already smuggling going on, just passing Steinbrücken, then they have to do something about that. Otherwise, the taxes are quite senseless in a way.
For the trade that is coming from the north, most definitely, or that's heading up to the north, most definitely. Trallic, I believe, is under the control of Hillslands. Let me take a look here. Settlements. Yep. So if you could, this is Karax. If you could tell when you next counsel with Count Wilbur, if you could counsel him of our efforts here and make him aware of the troubles in Trallic, perhaps he would. Alder Castle is located not far near there, and if we could outfit a small garrison there, I'm certain that would put a stop to that trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And you would know he's talking about Trallic actually isn't where Alder Castle is, but it's not far from there. Relatively minor lord's thing. That's the guy who keeps the menagerie, so he's more interested in hunting and whatnot than really doing anything to try and keep the area safe or protected. But Karax really would, he would appreciate if you told your count what he's doing and suggest that.
Yeah. It seems like there's an awful lot to do on policing the area here. Yeah.
Oh, I always something to do. Always trouble, but without toil, where would we be?
Yeah.
And once the halls of costume ring with industry once again, I'm certain that will alone drive off some of the worst in Vengenholm.
I think there must be. We have all these troubles here, and there's not enough. We didn't get to the head of the troubles, so there's Calicia still on the run, Caricia still on the run, and so on. So we have to, and the Dragos also. We have to get at least one of them, I suppose.
No. Bringing Dragos to justice. I will pray to Angrosh that he brings him to you so that your axe might bring him justice.
Yeah, that would be great.
He says something in Rogalan to you as well. That's sort of a, like a victory or success or something like that.
Yeah.
The dwarvish equivalent of Kapla, whatever that is.
Nice.
Any other questions for Karax?
No, I don't. Dalian, maybe, I don't know.
No, I don't. I think we're pretty good on that. Unless you can recommend what's the best thing to drink while we're here.
Oh, well, Master Thalion, what I would recommend for myself and for Korgrim, I could not in good conscience recommend for yourself as well. The Angrashim, our constitution, there are some very fine dwarven ales, stouts, and beers on offer at the Iron Cask. Some of those it would be unkind to expect one of your kind to drink of that, but she has some fine, less volatile beverages for your kind.
I'm aware of how potent the dwarven liquor can be.
Oh, and you will find that there, he says to you, Corgrim. Most definitely. So, forgive my impertinence. I know you are on the Count's, or you've been tasked by the Count. Might I have the honor of buying you a drink?
Yeah, it would be very unkind to disagree. So we wouldn't. We would be honored ourselves.
Oh, good. Then, come. I'll introduce you to Lavascha. She is the mistress of the Iron Cask, and we'll ensure we get the best seats in the house. So we'll grab you guys, bring you over to the Iron Cask, which is right here. Nope, there's L1A. Put you all down. Oh, you're all over the place. There we go. Okay. Oh, hold on. This isn't the one. Wait a minute. We
need to avoid any haunted coins while we're here.
This is the one we want here. There we go.
This place is lively.
Yeah. Well, it's good you don't have Gareth here, or Garen, because that is Garen grabbing the barmaid there. Okay, so let's put you guys down here. Ooh, I got some names for things. All right. So as we're settling down for drinks as well and a chat with Kurax, guys, why don't we take our mid-session break now? We're already halfway through the session. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. Hey, everybody in chat. Hope everyone is having a great start to the weekend. With a long weekend, if it is a long weekend for you. Okay. So, what I'd like you guys to each do is, if you would kindly give us a carousing check, please.
Oh no.
And we'll make this... Well, this is fortunate. I'm assuming all you're doing is having a couple of beers in the evening. So it's only one level of stupor that you need to be rolling against here. And it is I believe, a challenging check.
I'm singularly bad at this.
Oh, you were not kidding. Corgrim.
Yeah, so it seems like my sagacity is failing me. What's going on there?
What is your sagacity? It is a 10. Do you want to try and re-roll that?
Yeah, I mean that would be totally out of character to let it stand.
Yeah.
But spending a point, let me re-roll all three of them?
Absolutely. Yeah, you re-roll as many as you like for the one. And the way we've been doing it too, like I've generally been awarding fate points throughout the session because I think that's what's intended by the game. It's not just that you're,
I'm just rolling 1d20.
Oh, so actually what you can do is what we have been doing is on the top of the character sheet, you can just click on the corresponding color of the dice. Yeah, it's awesome. So you could we know which one you're re-rolling then too.
Oh yeah, okay.
I buy a lot less, so
yeah, now it's even better.
There you go. Awesome. Okay, yeah, sagacity. So then that's 3 degrees of success for you there, Corgrim. Every 2 will allow you to ignore 1. Do you have any advantages that also relate to resisting poison or anything like that?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that would be. Maybe not. I mean, I have something like bad habits, but
because there's talents, it would have been probably.
Yeah, I see, but
an advantage. Let's see here. I actually don't remember. Okay, so you.
Immunity. I have some immunity. What does it mean?
Immunity to Madron.
Yeah, that's a disease, I suppose.
Okay. And then rugged fighter. No. One of the neat things when you're building characters is you don't necessarily have to take every, typical racial characteristic you would see or cultural characteristic.
Mm-hmm.
I've not built a character from the ground up yet with it. Maybe this weekend.
So and under special abilities you see all the languages. And so
there they. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Just checking. It's humans, dwarves. It's funny because I really love that they kept everything in the same position as it is in the German language version. So dwarves come at the end of the list of races because the German word for dwarf is Zwerg. So
I noticed that.
Yeah.
So you find that funny, but almost every English book I have is when you get the German translation, this kind of error is mostly there. In Pathfinder, it's so annoying.
Because do they reorder it, or do they put this Zwerg at the beginning?
Yes, sometimes they reorder, but sometimes they forget about the ordering, and then it's just the literal translation in the wrong place. And
yeah.
So that's
the one thing the reason I like that they kept it is because when I'm using I've got some of the German language books, and I don't need to know what the German language equivalent of sagacity or whatever else is because they're all in the same place.
Yeah.
So it makes it really easy to just look at a stat block, and as long as I know what it is in English and where it's placed, I know what the stuff is. So.
Yeah, and there is this argument that they do this in-place translation, so it's easier than reordering them. So with the Pathfinder German edition, they tried to be on the same page if you want to look something up in the German version as in the English version.
Yeah.
which kind of works?
Am I right in thinking that sometimes the German translation will just end up being long, like more words?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just we need to have better eyesight over here because everything is printed smaller.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, all right. So you guys are enjoying an evening with Karax. Let's see if there's anything of interest. Let's see what's happening in the pub as well, because I've got a fun pub events or tavern events table in the booklet that comes with the GM's guide or the GM screen. Where are we?
Now it's time for the mistaken identity thing.
Yeah. John, would you give us a D20 roll, please?
Yes, sir. 19. Go higher, go home.
That's always a good sound for the GM to make.
Yeah. No, it works out. I think they're... what you find is that there's someone in the tavern. They maybe come over to you after you guys have settled in for a while to try and talk to you. And it is clearly a priest of Rondra. And Rondra, you may remember, John, is the goddess of like war and protection, and one of the things that is, I think, very cool about the setting as well is that there's not, clearly like good gods and bad gods and whatever, at least among the 12. Rondra can have in her church those who are your kind of like archetypical paladins who, see their responsibility as a holy charge to protect the weak. There are others who feel that Rondra, favors those who are strong, and so favors dominating others. So the church can find all sorts in between there, depending on whether you're embracing the shield or the storm manifestations of Rondra. This particular person seems to be wearing... He's got kind of a wild-eyed look to him. He is carrying Rondra's crest, which is kind of like a flamberge, the giant two-handed sword with the, the wavy things. They call it Rondra's crest. So clearly someone who, not unusual for his people. But what you overhear, and perhaps... I think who has the higher, more skill points in perception?
I've got 2.
Are you asking me things? Wait a minute.
Oh, you know what it comes to? Why don't you each give us a very easy check with perception? Because it does come down to your stats as well, too. And sagacity and intuition, I think, are the 2. Okay. Pretty good. Okay. So you both kind of pick up on this around the same time. And this guy's going around, and he's talking about some kind of crusade. He clearly is not... this is not someone who is preaching in a church or to those who follow Rondra. Remember that all the 12 gods are venerated in the Principality of Kosh, but it's Prios, god of the sun, and Ingerim, or Angrosh, as he's called more commonly here, the god of the forge, that are really dominant here. Rondra definitely has a presence, and in fact, there's a town further north in Vengenholm called Rondrasdank, which is kind of like Rondra's gift or Rondra's thanks. And it is a place where there was a, alleged to have been a miracle of Rondra. It's not by any means an important place, but, Rondra is still recognized as one of the 12 gods. But this guy seems to be trying to convince people that there is a pending crusade against the coal pelts. And that is a slur for orcs.
Yeah.
And it does not seem like a lot of people have time for him. Certainly not the dwarves, and he isn't quite getting to the point of insulting the courage. Like, he's not like, why would you not want to stand against them? They're trying to strike you when you're weak, kind of stuff. But he seems genuinely perplexed why people are not going along with this, and he's getting more and more agitated the longer that this discussion is going on. And then he sort of, I guess before he turns his attention to you guys, is there anything else you wanted to bring up with Kurax or ask Kurax about?
I don't know. I mean, it's...
I will tell you, he is quite interested when Talion, if you let out that you're, this is your first kind of mission out of your master's service. He'll be quite like, so, asking what you think of Steinbrücken, ask what you plan to do. He kind of hits Korgrim like, to be young again.
Yeah, everything's new and exciting, and you don't get the real experience, and he probably chokes on some drink at that point, behind the books in the dust.
And away from your master's shadow, I don't doubt.
Long shadow.
Indeed.
But why he very wise and taught me much.
And perhaps he'd asked too, Korgrim, if you mentioned that you were away before. He asked you, so what brought you out east then? Riches?
Fighting the Heptarchs.
Quest of your own or money?
No, I was fighting the Heptarchs when there was a war.
No, but what brought you out there? Why'd you go? It's far from home.
Yes. I guess I don't know if we said something, but
no,
maybe
you're absolutely your idea. Like, what do you think? Why do you think Korgrim?
There was sometimes you have quarrels with your siblings, and my brother and we had to go. One of us had to go, and I took leave. I went. So
I understand. And Kurax will not ask this, but Kev is curious. If your brother stayed behind at Costume, did he survive the Allegrim?
Oh, maybe he didn't. That would be making a better story, because now I'm thinking, well, if I had stayed, he would still be alive.
Yeah.
So something like that. Yeah.
And what about your brother? Did he have family?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't. Or maybe we were actually falling in love for the same woman or something like that. And she, tragically, she died as well. So.
And what about nephews or nieces? Do you have any surviving?
Well, maybe there is. Maybe there's a boy. Was now, but he's, I don't know, he's
like maybe fostered to like an uncle on the mother's side, so
yes,
like distance from your.
Like that. Yes. And he has the eyes of his mother, so I wouldn't stand him and so on.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Very tragic.
Okay, so Korgrim has a nephew.
Yeah.
He does not see. Okay. Obviously, Kurax is not going to press you on that kind of stuff too, but that's very interesting. Why don't you both give us the carousing roll then? I don't think we done that yet. No, we haven't. Oh, we did. Yeah, you did. You did. Forgive me.
Yes, we did, but
I failed.
You failed. Okay, which means you have been enjoying some old Angbaran stout. And the old Angbaran stout, there's like complex rules and simple rules for intoxication, and we're just going to use the simple ones. But what it does mean is that while you are able to shake off the one level of intoxication, Corgrim, you, Talion, you are suffering one level of intoxication. Carousing checks have an increased difficulty of 1. So you sort of spiral along, getting drunker more easily as you go. I think there might be an intoxication status on the character sheet.
There is not.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
There's encumbrance, stupor, rapture, fear, paralysis, pain, trance,
Is
confusion.
it under effect? Because there's status and effect, I think, under 2 different categories, maybe?
You'd have to add one, but
Take a look here.
No.
It's not important, so it will not likely persist. I'm just curious.
Is it intoxicated or poisoned? Maybe,
no, intoxicated.
Intoxicated, okay.
Yeah, you can't. Although that's a new condition that's added from this. Stupor is what they use otherwise.
There is stupor.
Simple rules. Yeah, so you got one level of stupor right now. Talion. Corgrim, you're good. So that is when this priest of Rondra.
Yes,
Okay, there it is.
good. Yeah.
Wine, drugs, exhaustion, brawl. Okay.
Nice. I also realized, oh man, so the there's a condition that blessed ones get where at reverie, or not reverie, what is it called? I can't remember what the condition is called, but it's basically like you get the more prayers you use in a time, the more kind of like inspired or whatever you become.
The rapture. Yeah.
Rapture, right. You can actually set on the individual skills whether rapture adds to or subtracts from the skills.
That's nice.
Which is really nice because like it does add to certain skills, and for Dave we were adding it in manually with the last one, but we can just update a sheet with it and have that set to being when you get rapture, it automatically calculates it for you. I really love the sheets for this. Okay, so then this is when this priest of Rondra staggers over, and you guys can smell that he's obviously quite deep into his cups, but you get a sense that this is more than him just being drunk. He is quite agitated. You can each give us a empathy check if you'd like. See if we can get any insight into this. Let's make it easy. I think actually it'd be very easy for you, Corgrim, because you have more direct experience with combat. Okay, Talion is remarkably empathetic as well.
Oh,
hey.
This time I am as well, yeah. So weird.
So I'm also highly curious. It's one of my disadvantages.
Oh, okay, cool. So what you can pick up, I think, you've not experienced much of the world yourself, Talion, but the kind of wild-eyed, haggard quality to the way that, and almost like on the verge of desperation that this man speaks of, you may not have seen much of the world, but you are quite certain this man has seen too much. And Corgrim, you pick up a degree of that as well. With this guy, you've seen people like him who have come back from the wars with the Heptarchs, who have just, combat is brutal enough when it's among living things, but some of the horrors that have, been faced out east, particularly in the Shadowlands, this guy would not be the first one you've seen broken spiritually by the forces of the Heptarchs, not just physically injured. So he almost spills your things over, and the Kurax kind of like, knocks, grabs his drink in time so it's not spilled over. And this guy begins kind of agitating. And what, or, you know, trying to convince you guys of the necessity for this crusade against the coal pelts. And the Kurax kind of says, all right. I'm no fan of the coal pelts either, but you've worn out your welcome. Levis, chap. And this guy turns to you and points at you, Talion, and says, they're coming! A black swarm to wash over all of Kosh. The fire came first. Now will come the smoke.
It's a bit disturbing. Wondering if you know something I don't know.
So, Korgrim, you might see out of the corner of your eye that, like, Chelian is a little affected by this fella.
Yeah. So, calm down. Come, have another drink with us and tell us your story. I would just invite him because, as far as I know, better he's totally drunk and passed out than he's starting the fight.
That's a good idea.
I think you
and if he bears the crest of Rondra, I would at least think that he's quite a skilled fighter normally.
Yeah. So
we wouldn't want him go rogue here. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you give us a I think because you've got quite a good warfare skill, right?
I don't know if it is good, but there is some knowledge. Yeah, 10. It's actually my best skill.
Okay, yeah. So, you know what? Why don't you give us a knowledge warfare check? It's not quite the thing, but I think it's closer to trying to speak to a fellow soldier than using persuasion for it.
So it's contested. So I use challenging, I suppose.
Yeah, because he.
Oh, that was.
Would you like to? You can reroll as many of those dice as you like. I think only two of them are fails, though. So your courage and your sagacity, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah. So okay, let's go. So this is courage. So this is a success and sagacity. This is still a fail, but now I'm within range of my skill points.
Yeah, because you get 5 points back from the one.
Yeah, I think I beat it by one quality. So I'm 3, but I have 3 left, so it's actually 2.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and yes, a fellow soldier. Yes. We should plan. Karax, you can see, is too impressed with both your status as a veteran of the Heptarch Wars or the wars against the Heptarchs at least, and your current status as an agent of the Council. He's not going to tell you to, like, get this fucking guy out of here, but Taylor, you can tell this guy, Karax is not pleased that this guy's going to sit down, but yeah, he sits down. The way he talks about it is like, this is a guy who wants to murder every orc between here and the Orklands.
Yeah,
right?
And I think I would just, we've seen it with Thalion, so humans are not meant to compete in drinking contests with dwarfs, so I would just order some I don't know, some more, no beer, but more
spirits?
high. Yeah, some spirit or.
Yeah, no, there are schnapps is quite popular.
Yeah. So there's in German it's Prima Feuer and something. So there's.
I think it's called Koshwater.
Koshwater, yeah, that sounds perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So Koshwater.
Yeah, because we know that we need something like that.
Yeah.
To talk about these things.
Let me see here. So if you want Angbaran Dwarven Bach, it would also be served here. That gives you 3 levels of stupor on a failed.
That seems to be the right thing to choose for him. I guess he has already some levels of stupor by the looks of him.
Does. Hold on, and actually I missed Schnapps here. Schnapps is 2 levels. So, but Koshwater, likewise, 2 levels. It's the beer, the Bock. That's the one that gives him 3. So
the real dwarven ale. So,
yeah. And this is perhaps like, when she sets the one down, Talion may put his hand out to grab it, and you're kind of like, this is
for veterans. Come on.
Oh, come on. Can I try a sip?
So, Korgrim, give us another. For one, you get a fate point for that, because that's great. Trying to deal with this guy. Go ahead and give us another carousing check at challenging.
Yep.
2.
So,
all right.
Yeah, it's only 2, but I think I would take it. I mean, yeah.
Yep. You're going to get 1 level of stupor then, but otherwise, fortunately, while you're getting a little drunk, and Kurax will join you in this as well. It puts the other guy right out. And he kind of slowly, it's not the, Conan falling into the soup kind of immediate passing out. He just keeps talking and then is like, I just need to rest. I just need to rest. And he puts his head down and then it's not coming up until, dawn. So they're quite, Korax kind of now realizes what you've done. And if you look over at Lavisha, she kind of does a...
See Thalion over there pick the guy's arm up and just drops it like, Kong. Did you kill him?
No. He's just he overestimated his own constitution there, I suppose.
I could throw him in the clink until dawn. He'll hopefully sober up. Though I think he's mind-addled.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think so. The only thing is, I guess he is someone who is used to fight. So we won't. It's no challenging him will always lead to some kind of repercussions, I suppose.
He's a familiar face to us. He's mostly armless.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yes.
But I do have work I need to do, and we'll see what we've drawn from your friend the Highwayman as well. Korgrim, Master Therian, it has been a pleasure to meet you both. If you are through our town, Steinbrücken, once again, please call on me. I'd be happy to buy you another bock. Hey, Talion.
Yeah, maybe when I work on my constitution a bit.
All right. Good evening to you both. And he will leave. So it leaves the 2 of you guys to discuss what has happened and where you wish to go next. It'll take you 2 days to get from here to Oberangbar.
Oh. Well, some news about this Crusader guy is interesting.
I don't think there is anything happening right now. He's reliving the battles of his past.
Well, his mentioning of the fire coming and then the smoke is made me think of the Algrim and then the potential horde of orcs that are gathering to the north. I mean,
while that might be the case, I don't think it is something we need to worry about right now.
Yeah, and what Korgrim would be able to tell you is that, because his lore warfare is quite good, the storm, while it's gone through Griffinfurt, I think is the thing, right?
Yeah.
No, North Marches is to the west. I think it's Griffinfurt. Griffinfurt is the place that the orc storm went through, and they came very close to the gates of Gareth. But
Okay.
Gareth is nearly... I'll show you here. So there is a fairly notorious kind of orc leader who has put together the orc storm, and there were 3 of them that washed down into the Midden Realm, and the capital, Gareth, is right there. Griffinford was held by orcs for quite some time, and it wasn't until a rival of the current Empress, he freed Griffinford, and then it wasn't until the final confrontation with, I think it was with final confrontation with Borberad, where he fought with her rather than continuing to fight against her. Do I have that right, Ingolf?
Yes.
Okay,
So
cool,
there
cool.
was this 3 Kaiser battle or whatever. So where all the 3 contestants actually fought against each other, because living under a demon would be worse in a way. So.
Yeah. There's that source book from that era, German language only, but I haven't picked it up yet. But that looks also so fucking cool. I imagine that's sort of appealing to the older fans of the older editions, right? Because the timeline advances as the editions have come out.
Yes. So they did a reprint of basically the timeline of the first 10 years or 15 years. I don't know how that is called. Golden.
Yeah, the Golden Age.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, just to give you a context for where the orc storm's coming from, and there is, while oh, wrong thing. You guys are in the bar. 1 sec. While the last orc storm did break, there is, I believe, the leader of the last orc storm is still out there, and still an influential person among the orcs.
So the last orc storm ended the year before the Allegram was freed. So.
Oh, so that's 13 years ago. Okay, so then the one... Ooh, so it's been 13 years then since this. There is someone named Ikar Brazarag, who is apparently gathering orc tribes to him. So I think that might be Korgrim. Let's let the dice decide. Give us a challenging warfare lore, because you have been away, right?
Yeah.
So
on the other hand, for strange reasons, I speak Orcish, so
Yeah.
I seem to there seems to be at least some kind of connection. I don't know.
Oh, definitely. One is weird because they're as much as they are enemies, they're also you can't fight all the time. There is going to be some trade that goes on, so there's some. Not all orcs are the slavering kind of monsters that you might.
And there's those there's something like I don't know, the Holberger used to be some mixed.
Yeah, the elf orcs.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's bestiary too. Ugh. It's super cool. There's a magical hybrid. There's 2 magical hybrid races of elves that are particularly troubling. One of them is the what are they called? Is it night elves?
I just
the ones in Klingen de Nakta.
Yeah,
I think they're called night elves, aren't they?
might be.
The night elves are crossbred with elves, crossbred with demons, and the ones that Ingolf was talking about are crossbred with orcs, but they're remarkably chill. They're actually a pretty restrained race or species. Korgrim, how did your... Oh, we need a challenging lore warfare check from you.
Yes, I was about to do that, but then I forgot.
See, success.
Actually a success, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Even though 20. So, yeah, I think you've heard rumors that there's. While you may want to say that so that Tellian doesn't there's enough, kind of scary stuff he's going to encounter heading up into Vengenholm. Maybe you don't need to also tell him that there might be a fourth orc storm brewing in the Orklands.
It's actually a fifth.
Oh well.
Is it
I'd be
fifth?
very curious about it though.
I guess it is a fifth.
Wow.
Who knows? There's so many. Just
Yeah, I'm guessing Thalion has lots of books, but books take time to write and to get out and about, and so new news is probably within 15 years or so. It's still pretty stuff he's interested in.
There is one of the interesting things about the setting is that there is mass media in form of the Aventurian Herald. That's an actual in-universe thing, so it does get transported around, so you can hear about words, even though it's largely a medieval setting, you do get word of what's happening elsewhere, albeit through the lens of, journalists, I guess. So
Propaganda. And
yeah, so
actually having somebody who's, either been there or know more about it's you can cross-reference what I know with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fascinating stuff.
Anything else you guys wish to talk about or do while you're in the Iron Cask?
no, I don't think we get new. No, I think we at least I think I have drunk enough to just calm down now.
Yeah.
I think Thalion's drinking enough that he's starting to get more confident, but I think he's about ready for bed. It's been a long day.
Okay. Yeah, especially with the confrontation. So, unsurprisingly, you are getting really the best rooms in the house thanks to Kurax, which means that when you do a rejuvenation, you're going to get some extra points back. So, where is it here?
Is it 339? I think
139 or 39?
339. I think was it
339. Okay, cool. Okay.
I was just looking that up not too long ago.
There we go. Great. Okay, so it'll be a good accommodation, single room, so +1 LP. So it'll be 1d6 +1 arcane energy, and neither of you are injured. So it's just your arcane energy.
It's a trickle, but it's enough.
You don't have any talents that increase your arcane recovery, do you?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think that was the case. There's a couple of other archetypes that do have that, but okay. Then morning comes, and let's see how. Ooh, do you get to get rid of your stupor? Let's see here.
Yeah, I think every 3 hours we lose one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Okay, so yeah. So you can get rid of your levels of stupor as well, guys. And then when the dawn comes, anything else you guys wish to do in Steinbrücke before...
well, Thalion says, didn't expect to get a bounty for bandits. You think we should see about getting a horse? Or do dwarves ride horses? Take us, not have to walk on our own feet the whole way?
I'm not sure whether a horse would make us more attractive to folks, and I don't really know. I mean, do we have to cross through the woods at some point, or we are always following the street?
If you're following the road, you can get all the way to Vengenholm with that, and then it'll be up the mountain to Costume, and a mule would be more appropriate for trying to make your way up to Costume. A horse could make it, but it's a little...
Yeah, no, we wouldn't take a horse on the last part of the journey.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get horses, but then we had to get rid of them in Vengenholm.
I'm wondering, do they have like rental horse thing, like one town to the other kind of thing?
I think you could hire on to like to be transported, in all likelihood, especially between.
You buy it and you sell it, and when you're there, I don't know.
Seems like a.
You could do that, but I don't think you guys either you have commerce.
No, I mean, I wouldn't do it. I mean,
You just want
we
to walk.
were given two feet to walk.
Yeah.
So
And-
horse, to buy a horse is 750 silver thalers.
Yeah. And I was thinking more of like, let's do a rental horse and go up there. No, okay.
Rental.
Let's see here. For services, guys, I got great news. An amputation is only going to cost you 50 silver thalers.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Let's
So
see.
there's no bear traps on the road.
Yeah. Looking for the Uber horses. Yeah.
Just trying to play Thalion as a mage that has not been out on the roads as often, and he's probably rubbing his sore feet from the day before.
Yeah,
trying not
yeah.
to get whippers.
So a traveling carriage will cost you 12 silver thalers from here to the midpoint between Oberanger and Steinbrücken. Yeah, so it'll be 24 silver thalers all the way to
And there
Oberanger.
seems to be some small village here as well.
Yeah, there's a small village in the middle there that you would be able to stop at. So you'd go 12 to get there and then 12 more to get to Oberangbar.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to pay that?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely cover our two costs to get up there if you want.
I mean, based on my traits, I have to say, yeah, you pay. That's only fair because I want to walk.
You could also take a riverboat, which would be 1 to 8 silver thalers. Probably 8 silver thalers because between Oberangbar and Steinbrücken are quite lucrative routes.
Yeah, but we already established that I don't travel by boat.
Yeah, you don't go on
Yeah.
boats.
And
I can't swim, so
I'm playing Thalion the way that money is still, he knows how to handle money, but money maybe don't know the best way to spend it, and he wasn't expecting the sudden influx of money, so he's like, I've got extra cash, let's go.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
24, 48 silver dollars.
Yes, it'll be 24 to get all the way to Oberangbar.
For both of us, or just one head?
Each of you.
Okay, I'll pay the 48 to get us there.
Okay.
That's good on you. Yeah. So my kind of lad. I know.
Well, it's my treat. You can get us drinks at the
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will.
And, if somebody attacks the carriage, well, then we can defend it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And go collect another.
Knowing Kev.
So let's see here. Well, one of the things I do really, again, I really like the setting is that it feels like there's not the monster jumps out and gets you. Everything has a purpose to it.
Yeah.
Like there's sort of a reason behind or a rationale behind whatever is going on. There's a lot of settings that do that as well. I'm not trying to paint too big of a brush here, but it's something particular about this that like everything seems to have a cultural connection for why things have happened.
I mean, it's a small area, and they had 40 years to describe everything. So
Yeah, which is really, it's great because it's one of the things like playing in I've played one time in a sandbox game where, we would go out and we would see the results of like the last group. If I wasn't in the previous group that played, they'd go out. It was a West Marcher style game, and we would come across like the monster that so and so slew 2 days before. And it just like that little bit of like, oh man, that's so fucking cool because it gives it a real lived-in feel to it. And that's what this campaign, what the setting feels like writ large, where there's all this shit that people have done, as part of their adventures, that has shaped the world. I mean, I guess Golarion is kind of like that as well, but
yeah, but I mean,
Only in certain-
Golarion is basically it's like Europe and Asia and Africa together. So I mean, it's vast. This Aventuria is only Europe in the size.
and North Africa.
Yeah, but the size of the land is smaller than.
Oh, I see
than
what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. It's in the compendium. Is what I'm looking for. I thought there is, I believe. Oh, the almanac. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna find all these charts before next time, or I'll just get to know where they are better.
Is there a gossip skill in this game?
Yeah, I don't think it's called like that, but there is.
Okay. Because I think Thalion would, if there's any other passengers, he'd probably want to chit chat with them along the way,
With the I see. Yeah.
or at least the driver. I mean, he'll sit up front and talk to the driver. He don't care.
Yeah, sure.
Chew his ear off.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that they'll be on board with that. Okay. $349 at Corvals. Okay, I am wasting too much time here. So we're gonna stop looking.
I think you should just share your knowledge about plants with us or something like that.
Oh, my one skill point.
Yeah.
I mean, I could start like a pretty much a treaty on magical lore, see if that kind of helps. But willpower and magical lore are my two highest skills.
Oh, there is asking around. I remember this in the compendium because one of the adventures is one of the small adventures that they suggest as a introduction to the campaign is it's something one goblin or something like that. But it involves a lot of like going around and chatting people, and it incorporates the rules from the compendium for asking around in there. Asking around uses wide variety of stuff. Intimidation, seduction, fast talk, streetwise, persuasion. So yeah,
which is gonna be seduction, maybe.
I don't know. Got this thing. Does that have any benefit to me in this area?
let's see. Heimet Dwarf.
So this means your home village. So you know yourself around in your home village.
Yeah, which I think is Furdock.
Okay.
So funny because some of the things when they they've translated a lot of stuff in the Roll20 thing, but every now and then there's stuff that they forget to translate. Actually, in the print material, there's a couple things too where they just it slipped past somebody, so it is still in Deutsch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was wondering whether Gaukelei is actually a good word in English as well.
That one is actually listed here. It is not a word in English, but it is the name of the skill in the core book.
Yeah, it should be. I don't know. Some kind of what a clown would do or something like this.
Yeah, it's like pratfalls.
Yeah.
Yeah, because use it for clowning, for hiding tricks, juggling. Huh. Okay. So, let's do this. Let's have...
Probably use persuasion, if any.
You probably use persuasion with it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I'm grabbing my thing here. Ingolf, would you kindly...
Yes.
Let's see. Give us... First, give us a 1D... 1d4 minus 2, please.
1d4 minus 2.
Yes, please.
Very oddly specific.
Well, I'm thinking of like how many passengers there is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
it's
so
two.
there are 2 passengers in here. Would you give us a 2d20 roll, please?
Okay. Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, 17,
17 and
19.
10. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there is... Interesting. Okay, so there is... you're a little surprised. Gubara is traveling with you, the female dwarvish guard.
Okay. Interesting.
Apparently, she had the same idea of spending her money to get out of town, like I did.
Well, you'll have to talk to her and see what what she might be. The other person who is in here is actually, it looks like a ranking member of blessed one of the Church of Prios, the sun god.
Ooh. Oh! Don't swear. They will get very mad at you.
The Inquisition is run by the Church of Prios. So, and let's see about. Where is it here?
We get attacked by bandits. They're gonna be like, nobody expected the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Y'all are fucked.
Why don't you give us, John, a... Let me see here. Give us 2d20. And then each of you give us a d100 roll, please. Okay. All right, and there's the... of Prios. Okay, 12 and 15. All right, and 15. Okay. And 89 and 25. Okay.
And so it depends on what kind of blessed one of Priors he is, but they're rather skeptical of mages in general.
Church of Prios? Yeah, there's one of the major schools of wizards basically had to completely relocate where they were because the Church of Prios came into favor. And as a favor to them, they kicked all the fucking mages out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So keep my little bread from the count here handy, just in case I need to pull rank.
Right.
Or I can keep the spell casting to a minimum. You're a wizard? No, I'm just cosplaying as one. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me put a name to this feller. Or actually, give us a D2 roll, please. I'm not sure if it's a man or woman.
A win.
Okay.
So he's called one. But...
Okay. Then... Go.
Details.
There's Kosh. Here we go. I genuinely, I use this fucking book in golf in like almost every fantasy game I run now. One of my favorite supplements. For those listening home, it's just a book of names for the different cultures in Aventuria. Okay, so it is a woman. which means Alvida. And what did we say? Forgive me. I've forgotten already. The name of, or how blessed ones are addressed. Did we say Your Grace?
Yeah, could be.
I believe so. Yeah.
So what I
We
said?
only talked about the wizards, like
And it was Master for you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Your Grace. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So, what you find, interestingly, is there is a woman named Alvida, and I think they don't give up their surnames of. Oh, they do. They do. The Blessed Ones adopt a surname that is based off of the church. So it is.
okay.
Yeah, so you always, and like there's a variety of different ones too. It's not like all one. Which is
Kind of like Talthir of Manon, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. And oh boy, what is it called? Mass Attrition Overview. Here we go. Prios.
Trials.
Oh, and John, as an example of the difference between Garethi and Bosporano, a priest of Prios is called a Lightbringer in Garethi, and in Bosporano it is Donator Lumini. And
I love the setting that this particular adventure takes place in, these valley mountain things.
oh, yeah, I'm.
It's like I where I live, literally, you know, we're in a valley between two sets of mountains.
Yeah. No, it's very honestly like it reminds me of the foothills outside of Calgary as well too. So I'm a sucker. It's a like the environmental art that they produce for the setting is just so fucking good. Like I love the sense of place that you get from reading through these supplements. Now I was checking because there's a sample character. I can't find it in the oh, it's their actual names. So like there's a sample character named Prionda. So it incorporates the names. It's actually their given names. So I think let's do this. Pryilda is her name. So she would look very much like very much like this. Dressed in the distinctive white and red of a Church of Prios. And there is, of course, Gubara, who is, and I mean, she's a proper dwarf, so she would know her mother's name.
I get the sense he's going to be a reoccurring character, so I'm taking notes.
Is it? Well, that's the thing I love about these kind of like the reason I don't mind doing it. Not I don't mind, but I like doing these kind of like random things. Is you never know what's going to come together in these kind of games of you know, whatever you guys choose to engage with, and then that's what becomes important for this game. And because it's a relatively small area, you're absolutely right that you could come across these folks again.
What's the name of that crusader? And did we get his name?
Of his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be. Let's say.
You might have said it, but I didn't take a note.
Ron Derek.
Okay.
RHONDIREC. So she is Gubara, daughter of Zorda. And I think Korgrim, what you can tell, you remember she was kind of like playful with you before too, especially when you made the joke about Brimosh sleeping for the thing too. I think what you can see now is that she has a more, she definitely seems more concerned. Like as you guys are making your way towards this and hiring on, you're a little surprised to see her. She seems distracted and she has a look of concern on her face, like she's preoccupied with something. Then as you guys are hiring on, unless you say something to her, it's as you guys are getting on, she looks up and sees you and kind of looks at both of you. What are you two doing here?
We're going to Oberengmar.
Yes. Yeah. You wouldn't believe how much convincing it took me to get him to go in a carriage.
And what? Oh, I did not know your business would take you all the way up there, but that's
it's part of the way.
Part of the way. Well, I'm headed to Oberengmar as well. So if I think we have the same coach. Then, and let me think here. I'm going to take a quick look at your students' map here, because let's see if she named. No, there's no name for the community in there. Let's see here. Let's call it. What would be the word I'm looking for here? It's not mit. What is
Yeah, Midweek would be in the middle of
Midweek? Okay, yeah. That works for me. Midweek.
Is that what we're naming the village between the two spots?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I'll put a little. I can put a.
It's like halfway house or something like that.
Yeah.
I think
halfway house is a little bit negative connotation.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Normally, I mean, if it weren't in the middle of the night, I would spell it correctly, and it would be spelled like this.
Oh, two T's.
Yes.
Oh, and of course, yeah. Fucking Madison, come on. I'm gonna fail my what do you call it? Duolingo today.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm just taking the easy way. I'm just doing it. I'm spelling things phonetically.
Yeah. But that is actually of no use with the English language at all.
I mean, I'll know what it means because I wrote it. So it's like, okay, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think English is we beat up languages in an alleyway and dig through their pockets for loose grammar. That's how we construct our language.
Yeah. I love the this is like going back 30 years, but there's English a joke about learning English. Like I don't understand why you people are having such a hard time trying to learn it. You know, house, houses, mouse, mice. Get it?
Yeah.
Goose, geese, moose, moose. Get it?
That moose is moose.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you'll be staying in Midweek before heading up to Oberengmar, and yeah, so she seems. I mean, she seems pleased to be heading up with you, but I think she's definitely Korgrim. You can pick up. She's definitely more reserved and less chatty than what she was before.
Yeah.
The other person you're getting on is this the Blessed One of Prios, and you know, Talion, I think you're feeling a little rough today, having indulged in a little more, you know, old Embarn stout last night, but you don't look nearly as exhausted as she does. She doesn't smell of booze or anything like that, so it's not a matter of she's reeking of that. She just seems very, very tired. She gets in and kind of settles herself into the carriage, and then your there's two, so it'll be a carriage, so you'll be riding inside of it. If you ask to sit with the coachman, because there probably is a coachman and I'm not sure there'd be room for you up there, because there'll be a coachman driving it, and just because of the road and because of what's being charged, there's probably a second who's riding with him, like a watch out. Or I can't remember. There's coachman, would that be called? No, whatever the like guy riding shotgun, but before the invention of shotguns, whatever that is called, that is the guy. He's riding blunderbuss, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Slingshot also. Yeah.
Is that a saying in German as well too? We call it like passenger front seat is shotgun.
No.
Okay.
Exactly. No, but I think it has become a thing now that you can say shotgun, and people would, even in German, you can say shotgun.
You'll understand. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So, what I think you'll find is as soon as you guys roll out of Steinbrücken and begin heading north, for one, you can definitely tell it is not, a rough road by any means, but the quality of road between Oberangbar and Steinbrücken is not like it is for the Imperial Road. What I think you can expect is this is a this heads north and south. This might be a Crown Road too. It's not quite as nice as the King's Road, but this is a fairly important road too. So well maintained, roadside ditches, excellent drainage, fully paved and wide enough for 4 vehicles to pass each other.
Okay. It looks like the main west and east road is a little bit more defined on the map, and it's slightly smaller going north and south. Yeah,
you know what? And also, they do have, they can use river travel going north and south, and they do make great use of river travel in these. They're called the Riverlands between here and North Marches. So maybe it is actually a country road. So what you would expect, wide but unpaved roads wind through open countryside, avoiding forests and hills. After long periods of rain, carriage wheels can dig deep ruts in the mud, increasing horses' chances of leg injury. Bridges, which tend to be simple wooden affairs, are the exception rather than the rule. Sturdy stone bridges exist only in close proximity to cities and often serve as sites for toll collection. Travelers in rural areas cross streams and rivers at fords. So you're fortunately not, apart from like maybe some a creek or so that they probably would have built a drainage thing underneath for. It is, that's what you're riding through. So if you wish to chat with either of the two folks that are on here, the Blessed One of Prios just would say, politely kind of a, hello to each of you, and then would sort of pull her robe up and sort of go to sleep in the thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, then consideration, I'll try to keep my voice low and, not disturb her rest. But I'll kind of talk to...
I mean, if it's on an uneven road in a carriage has some suspension to it, unlike a wagon, but it's still like, if she's able to sleep through that, you don't need to worry about keeping your voice down. If you want to be heard by anyone else, you're going to have to speak a little louder anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely talk to Hubar and ask her, since we got some more time to speak, just hoping to get some more information along the road. I'm sure you've gone up and down the road a few times.
Oh, so why don't you give us, you said you're thinking persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just trying to be polite.
Yeah. And go ahead and give us, you can make that at easy, because it was, Corgrim did make a good impression on her. Okay.
Alrighty, it passed.
So if you wish to get further information, remember you can spend a fate point to gain an extra quality level.
Yeah, I have not spent very many. I'll spend one.
Okay. So what do you say to her?
Telling her we're heading up to Oberangbar and then further north, even then northwest. Just trying to get a beat on the bandit attacks. Have us slightly worried about safety along the way. And does she know any rumors or things we should watch out for on the way up?
Oh, well, I truth told, I've not traveled the road. I've been up to Oberangbar twice before. It's not somewhere I travel on regularly, and usually only on. And you see, she's kind of. You would guess that she's trying to be polite, and also she's just kind of a friendly person normally. It does seem like she's trying to be careful with what she talks about or what she shares. Which, again, is not how she was when you met with her before.
Okay.
I would just interject maybe. So you don't need to tell us if it's family business. We'll understand.
Mm-hmm. Don't need to pry into any of that.
Oh, she kind of laughs. Kind of like, oh, no. Not nothing of that sort. Thankfully, she kind of looks to the Blessed One to her right, and then turns to you, Talion, and you would understand this, Corgrim, but she asks in Rogalon, do you speak out of tongue? So she says something in Rogalon that you don't understand, but you know what's being asked, Corgrim.
He doesn't speak our language. I would politely then say in Garathi. So.
Okay, so she flushes a little bit, and you see her eyes go to the
we see,
the Blessed One, and she looks back at you then, Corgrim, and she says, in Rogalon, once again, please apologize to, and you hear your name spoken, Talion, for my rudeness, but I've been told you're agents of the Count.
That's true. I would answer in Dwarvish as well. Actually, honestly, so I would say he is agent of the Count. I'm on behest of our king.
Her eyes kind of go wide. You're in service to Gillamon, son of Gillam, the Mountain King, the Dragon Slayer. Oh, then this might be of interest to both of your masters, then. And she's still speaking in Rogalon. Kurax, Marshal Kurax, has sent me to Oberangbar to parley with the Baron there. Your highwayman, he did have words. It seems he also knows the names of she looks, the smugglers. He knows. So I'm trying to think here.
I would have suggested I would have actually I'm not surprised by this. So he's from Undergast. I got.
But what he told us, there are spies within Oberangbar working there.
Yes.
We know not. If there are those in Oberangbar, there are likely those in Steinbrücken as well. And the Marshal thinks the best way to ferret that out is to go through the contacts at Oberangbar, where they don't know us, and would not be wise to us inquiring of such things.
Yes, I understand.
The concern is, of course, I was lying when I've said I've been to Oberangbar before. I've never been there. I've not left Steinbrücken, not farther than a few miles outside. So, this is my first trip there, and he, in his wisdom, the Marshal thought none would recognize me.
Yeah, I understand.
They won't.
Yeah. And I would just, in a way, just to Thalion. So it is indeed family business. I will talk to you later. It is more complicated.
No. Well, seems like you're having a very complex conversation. I will take some notes, see if I can learn your language quicker, but keep going. He pulls out a pen. He's jerking around with the carriage and just trying to phonetically spell out the dwarven language as he hears it.
Would Dunkelkurve make sense?
Dunkelkurve? I don't know what. I mean, it could make sense. I'm
trying to say Dark Bend.
Yeah, Dark Bend. Yeah, you can. I mean, this is
okay. So then, Dunkelkurve is the name of the little community up here. Is it Dunkelkurve? Oopsies. Let's see. Tell me if I got that right.
Dunkle Kurve, that would be... so it's, normally, if it was one name, it would be Dunkel Kurve, so you would just switch the L and the E.
Okay, so it'd be Dunkel.
Dunkel Kurve, yeah.
Okay. Dunkel Kurve. Oopsies.
Yeah. And I can't... So your first version was correct if it was an adjective, but not as a compound word.
Got it. Okay, cool. Okay. So Dunkelkurve, which is Dark Bend.
Yes. Yeah.
That, apparently, what she tells you is that there is someone there that he has given the name of, and what she's hoping to do is get the cooperation of Oberangbar's new Baron to go to there, find out who's his contact is at Oberangbar, and then down here. So that, she feels, would be of interest to both of your masters.
It certainly would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So then we actually travel farther because we are going to Wengenholm, so...
You're traveling as far?
Yes.
What luck. What fortune. Did
Thanks.
Did the Marshal speak to you about this last evening?
We wanted to talk to him in the morning and somehow we forgot. Maybe someone was hungover, and I just barely glimpsed at my companion.
Yeah. Give us a Korgrim. Give us a very easy, I think, persuasion or seduction. Or
yeah, I'm not good at any of those. So
it's very easy.
Yeah, it's very easy. Yeah. So oh come on, I will try seduction because it's very easy.
Okay.
What can go wrong? So.
Apparently a lot.
I never wrote so
13. Hold on, what is the? Oh, your charisma. Okay.
Yeah, I never wrote so many 20s in my life.
So you could spend. Remember, you can re-roll as many dice as you like when you spend a fate point.
Yeah. I spend a fate point.
Okay,
and
you can reroll both those
reroll
charisma.
my charisma, but
So your charisma is an 11.
so modifier 3. I think I should do.
Correct. Yeah. Modifier 3.
And no, there's this 20 again.
Okay.
This is
Which would
interesting.
give you... Yeah, and you
Oh,
guys...
this is actually even worse.
And there is the...
What did
Okay.
you say to her?
So, yeah, what do you say to her, Corgrim, that leads to... Corgrim is a world-class creep.
Yeah. I just. So that means we're getting to know each other more
So perhaps-
intimately, I suppose. Something.
Can I
like
make a
that.
suggestion?
Yes.
You tell me wrong. It's maybe he leans forward and like telling you're trying to figure out what's going on between the two of them. He leans forward and then Corgrim very slowly puts his hand forward and he puts it on her knee, and you can see the look in her face is just like, oh god, and she very carefully moves it away from you and says, well, in any case, I hope that's of help to your lord. And she very firmly kind of looks out the wing and like kind of moves herself away, physically away. So, telling you see them going back and forth in Dwarvish, you know, you're like, okay. The Corgrim leans forward, puts his hand on her knee, and then like you need not speak the language to tell what has happened in the dynamic here.
I clear my throat, look out the window as well.
Yeah, and I'm surprised I did not. But that is amazing. 420s in.
There is. Hold on. There is.
Yeah.
I want to check. I don't know whether you take the better of the two.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
And even then, I mean, it's just too good a fumble to
Done.
have. In
Okay.
this
Yeah.
situation.
We'll leave it with that then.
When I see dice like that, I'm like, this is what fate has intended for this situation.
Yes. No, and it's good actually. So maybe she does not like me anymore, which would give more yeah, or maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you just horribly. Well, nothing is being like jokes aside. You just clearly misread the situation completely.
Yes. Yeah.
For it. So yeah, she seems to not being interested in talking to Corgrim or really you, Tillian, at any further. You could try and say something to her if you'd like.
What, Talion?
Yeah.
How well of a read do I have on the situation?
Give us an empathy check. I think with a critical fail, let's make it. Let's make it very easy.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're picking up it precisely, like the tone of the conversation between the two of them before. You can tell that like she was sharing something in. They were talking in sort of hushed and conspiratorial tones. So clearly something was going on there, and then something just went sideways in that. And with 2 quality levels of success, you're confident it was Corgrim who caused it to go sideways like that.
Oh.
I think there is probably an opportunity. There's going to be a midday kind of break where they stop and they water the horses, and you guys will have a chance to stretch. And the Blessed One of Prios will get out and she'll, stretch a bit, but she looks really quite tired as well. And you would see, I think, that Gubara, daughter of Shandi, would try and stand as far away from you guys as possible, at least as far away from Corgrim.
But I definitely want to try to go talk to her after this, during the stretching away from Corgrim. Kind of maybe use a little bit of etiquette to smooth the rumples that occurred.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you give us an etiquette? I think it'll be challenging, unfortunately.
Okay, well.
Oh, only by
I'm
one.
gonna
But
reroll that 17.
you got it. Yeah.
Got that 1 point left.
What's your charisma?
It is a 14.
That's a good chance.
Okay, so
Just click on the
just
black
straight roll.
dice with no modifiers. There you go. That's 1 degree of success then, because you had 2 skill points.
Okay.
So what do you
So
say as
he'll walk over and look between Corgrim and her. I'm like, I'm not up about dwarven etiquette and whatever that was, but I don't think he meant it.
So you only got 1 degree, quality level success. So I think what she kind of looks at you, and she's a little angry, you would guess, or you would gather, but I think it's also hurt, because she says, it's kind of you to say on his behalf, but I know his type. And I know that you're on. And she looks around and kind of like lowers her voice. No one's around. You guys are stopped on the side of the road. She lowers her voice a bit and says, I know that you're on a mission for the Count. And he's on a mission for the Mountain King. But I'm on a mission myself. And that is what I was sharing with him when he could. So, I have a job to do. I've got enough trouble with his type back among the Watch.
Well, if I can be of assistance, I will be more than happy to. But whatever happened between the two of you, is between the two of you.
What I told him is that we spoke to that man that you brought in, the highwayman.
Ludwig, yes.
Is that his name?
The name he gave us.
He shared the name of a man involved in the smuggling at Dunkelkarv. He also said that there is a spy in Oberangbar, and that the spy is facilitating some of this smuggling. It's not just through Tralak, it's also through Steinbrücken.
That's why you're coming up here.
I'm to meet with the Baron of Oberangbar. She gestures to her coat. She's not dressed in her watch uniform right now. She's dressed as if she was a traveling hill dwarf. I'm to speak to the Baron there, and with hope, the Marshal hopes that with cooperation, we might ferret out who's in Dunkelkarv. That will lead to who's in Oberangbar, and hopefully that will lead to who's in Steinbrücken. We're all too well known to find who's hidden among us, nor can we tell who can be trusted. I can tell you as well that knowing that the Dark Dwarfs, Drogosh and the lot, are active, we know that there is another of his. Drogosh took in another younger one named Drugal. Drugal's not his son, but he has sworn himself to that dark dwarf and refers to himself as the son of Drogosh. He's an assassin and deadly with a crossbow. And we believe he's active in the Trallic smuggling trade. He may have connection with Dunkerque, and if there's any truth to what that Ludwig said about Berensteig, well, the bloody bastard has connections to Drogosh. Drogosh has connections to Drugal. And all of this may be relating to whatever the bloody bastard has planned for Vengenholm.
Well, it's a loose thread that I'm very tempted to tug at and see where it leads. But
is your task? Forgive me, I asked beyond. I've been told I'm too curious for my own good.
Thalion will get a little cork on his lips and says, I too share the productivity curiosity.
She looks at you and kind of laughs. Well, they say it's a good quality in a goddess woman, so... But well, I did not... I was going to ask...
Not sure what orders the High King has given Korgrim, but the Count... I'm to find Drogosh. And if Drugal leads to him, maybe I should help you find Drugal.
Oh, indeed. You mean work together on this?
I'm sure the marshals word has a lot of sway, but perhaps the Count will help too.
That is most kind.
It is not too much of a tangent from my current mission.
Then, had you planned on meeting with the Baron of Oberangbar?
I think the intent was to get to Wagenholm and see what we can find out, but we're not even 4 days into our journey, and we've already discovered a network that leads in that direction. It's a thread I want to pull.
Certainly, and Count Yelik would be... If Count Yelik would assist, I think he and his kind are poorly tasked by the ruin affected on his lands by the Alagrim. I hear he rides the fore with his men. He rides and fights with them against the bandits.
Courage is to be respected.
From what I've heard, his brother was thought to be a schemer, but Yelik, when pressed with the impact of the Aragrim, has proven himself to be a worthy leader and one who cares for his people. I lament for the rise of all the troubles in Vengenholm.
Talion will pause for a moment as he's in thought, and he says, Carax asked a bit of a favor to let the Count know of the attempts to handle the troubles in the area. I think it's a good idea that I get first-hand view of it if I'm going to make good on that favor.
Oh, I've been told to make myself at the disposal of the Baron, but I'm... Anything that will bring greater safety to not just Steinbrücken, but to Kosh. I am happy to do so.
And then Thalion will clap his hands together and say, well, let's go stir up some trouble then.
She laughs at that. And I'll not hold... Your friend did not seem so forward when we first met. I'll not hold it I'll judge it to be a mistake on his part.
At least let him stew in it for another day.
I will be dining alone at Mitveg then. Then it would be fun to make the journey more uncomfortable for him, I suppose, if you knew my intent.
Perhaps as it ferments inside of his chest about what he did, maybe he'll buy you a drink.
That is another move of his sort. Or maneuver. Well, I see he's calling us now. Perhaps we could talk more once we reach Mitveg. And
Sounds
bring
like
Korgrim. So you maybe have a moment to go over and speak to Korgrim. Korgrim, what are you doing during this time? While I don't doubt that you probably spied, because you're, keeping watch over Telian as well too. You're supposed to keep him safe. You probably saw him going over there. What would you be doing during this time?
Yeah, I would myself maybe have an eye on our other passenger there.
The priestess, or the
yeah,
blessed
because
one.
She's the blessed one. Yeah, isn't that a little bit suspicious that she didn't even lecture us one time about not using a language she can't understand or something like that?
No, she seemed to sleep through the whole thing.
Yeah, that is even more suspicious. Yeah.
So if you wish to try and, she's up now, and I think she's sort of, walked away from the road just a little bit so she can kind of watch the Anga. So she's seeing the river, go by through the trees. If you approach, she probably, hears your armor moving, and she'll look over, and she'll say, "The blessings of Prios upon you."
Better
Thank you.
me, twin like ages.
Thank you. The blessings of Angrosh to you.
She kind of grimaces a bit.
Yeah. Off to a good start here as well. Yeah, that's good.
Indeed. I've been sleeping for most of... I don't know why she's talking like a dwarf. See, I've been sleeping for most of the trip. I intend to do so the same. Forgive me, I may make poor company.
So are you well? Do you need anything?
I am.
My companion is very skilled with herbs.
He looks over, or she looks over at Telian. You travel with a guild mage.
I'm supposed to keep an eye on him. We are going to Koshim together.
Huh. Unusual for... I expect there is a story behind that. It is not my concern nor my business, I trust, but... Curious companions. Forgive me. I am Prealda.
Korgrim. Your Grace, maybe? I don't know.
Your Grace, yeah, that's correct. Thank you. Costume. Are you... You must be one of the Orfolk.
Yes.
Is this mage assisting with your reconstruction then? Or another task?
I suppose I'm not in the full detail. I do as I'm told, as my king told. So
A royal servant. Forgive me. I did not.
well, I guess. I mean, we are all royal servants in a way, but it's not that the king explicitly told me himself. But I was on behalf of the king. I'm keeping an eye on him.
She kind of looks at you. I don't recognize his robes. Is he a soul student or a graduate of a college?
As far as I know, he is a graduate from some, and I think it's even true that I don't remember where he told me.
Yeah, he actually did. So the way, from what I understand, the way that if it's a soul student, you do take the actual exams at a college, but it's at the behest of your tutor, and you don't actually get to wear the robes and all the other stuff that you get to associate with that specific college. So I don't know whether, like, the guild mages have been around for a really long time, so it's not like it would be, it wouldn't be recognized. Everybody can recognize one, but perhaps the particulars. No, why don't we do this? I think there is like a mage. Where is it?
Yeah, Dalian is technically a guildless mage. He was just instructed under a gilded mage.
Yeah. So, but I would say I'm honestly I think you would know the details.
He wouldn't have said anything about it though. So
yeah.
I expect that you know. For me, they're all mages.
Indeed, I sympathize with that.
And you're from the temple in Furdok?
I am not.
I suppose that's the biggest temple in the area in Furdok. There is at least one.
There is, and I think it actually is. I think Furdok is the largest Prios temple. There is a temple for Prios in Angbar, but it is not nearly as impressive. What he said, she says, I am from further east of here. Originally.
Yes.
Tell me, if you were to keep your charge safe, have you heard anything of Midveg?
We haven't heard anything about Midwig, but we have actually ourselves encountered and kept and even captured one bandit on the road to Steinbrücken. So there is definitely bandits around in the area here.
It is, and he kind of she steps in a bit. It is not bandits, men, dwarves, coal pelts that concern me.
I'm looking a little bit more curious now. So yesterday we were told that there was another Orkensturm in the making, but I've not heard about this. Maybe there is. Is there?
She looks you up and down. I think there is probably. You tell me. You're probably dressed in a lot of, traditional, dwarvish stuff too, but I imagine there's some things that you carry with you that were, like, obviously legacies of, time out east. So maybe a scarf, or like your boots would be of a different make, because she is...
Yeah, something like that, or something like, I don't know, yeah.
So she looks down... she kind of looks you up and down, and you can feel like the way she is inspecting you feels like perhaps an instructor at some point who was looking for mistakes or something like that. She looks you over and says, "You fought in the East."
Yes.
And if you were in service to the Dragon Slayer, then word has come to me, rumors of something unnatural and dark that hunts in the woods near Midveg.
Yeah, I have not heard about this, but these are dark times.
They are dark times, and the shadow of Borbarad still weighs heavily on much of the north.
Indeed it does.
I shall be looking for more than bandits, raiders, or the sort, renegade knights.
From what we heard, there is the bloody bastard Ulfried, I suppose. I don't know. This Ulfried was Ulfried the bloody Ulfried the bloody bastard has gathered some kind of troops and is trying to become the next robber knight or robber baron here.
I am unfamiliar with that name, though I am not. Well,
he was one of the underlings of this Ulfing of Jagenquell. You maybe have heard of it.
I feel the name is.
He was one of the bandits that helped unleash the Allegrim.
They were servants of Carisia of Salmingen?
Yes. And we heard, so the bandit we captured, there was some talk about that name, that Ulfried the bloody bastard, and he would hunt to the north, further to the north. So I can't tell whether that is true or not, but it wouldn't be a surprise if it was true, actually.
If that black-hearted sorceress still lives, and her servants are still active, her hand and the heavy shadow of Borbaran remains here.
Yes.
She looks over at Talion once again. I have no love for but if you would remain true to your charge, you best watch for his safety. Darker things than highwaymen may await you in Midveg. And that's maybe when the call for people to get back in the wagon is called.
Nice.
And that's also, guys, unfortunately, where we're going to have to leave things for tonight. So I think
great segue there.
We've been doing 15 XP, I believe, 15 adventure points, I think, per session. Yeah. Is that right, guys?
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So 15 AP for tonight's session, and that brings us to the end. More developments.
That was fun.
It's such a, honestly, like the setting and the game, I think, is so fucking good. My apologies for wanting to, like, again, like, we're not going to be doing this all the time, constantly having to add stuff in, but I think this is part of the fun of this type of setting, is adding these, emergent elements, and it just makes for a really interesting, both of those, incidentally, random things. I did not have planned with that. We rolled those, what they would be like, what they were on the thing for, what you might hear from them. Awesome.
Sorry, Ingolf, those 20s, though, they were loving you tonight.
So good.
This kind of emergent gameplay, too. So
Yeah. And what I like is, so if you have a roll and then you you see that it failed on one attribute, you can always say that maybe that's the reason why it failed. So
Yeah.
there was something. Reading a little bit into the role is sometimes fun.
Totally.
I mean, you don't have to go full Star Wars on it, but I mean, that is.
Yeah, I tend to use that in my my narrative explanation for why I fail stuff in other games. So I'm like, yeah, it was, it's meant to happen.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So then for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 5 of our ongoing Dark Eye campaign. So as is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game, the campaign we're playing, or any of the things relating to the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have channels that are dedicated to assorted games. We don't have one for the Dark Eye yet, but I'm probably going to set one up pretty soon. There's also channels dedicated to most of the other games and campaigns we run on the channel, as well as things like Find a Group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat. There's a terrific, helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly community over there, and you're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games are the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, like, say, The Dark Eye, published by Ulysses Spiele. All of my books, with the exception of one, came from Noble Knight, and they're, at the time of recording at least, priced quite reasonably too. It is not priced like a game that is dramatically hard to find. There's also, if you make a oh shit, I still haven't got the updated discount code. There is a discount code listed down below, but unfortunately that expired on the 15th. I have yet to get the updated discount code. If you come back to one of our videos after the long weekend, so sometime after April 21st, I guess, or 22nd, I'll have, hope the current discount code there. That'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more through their website. Unfortunately, I forgot to get it updated on Wednesday. It's been one of those weeks, so my apologies. But yeah, and if they don't have something in stock that you're looking for in their extensive catalog, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in, and you can pick it up at your leisure. The last thing I'll say is a huge thank you to our stalwart players. So John and Ingolf, thank you so much for playing today, guys. I had so much fun running this tonight. This was great. Really great role playing tonight. Then we'll be back on the road to Midveg in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in Aventuria are encountering as they're simply trying to, well, find a dwarf. How hard can that possibly be? But until we see you again, thank you again for joining us. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.